With those promos, I was like, yes,
I know.
that's such a good name.
When I first
handle.
started following him on like Instagram and like having to tag him in some of our like Bullets and Butterflies posts, like when I was first announcing him, I was like, AJ Sugar Tits. All right, I fuck
so
with it.
good,
Like you
dude.
can't say no. It's just
gotta
him.
keep it a little vulgar.
Right. Well, especially like when people know you, they're like, yeah, that's so fucking on brand. Like it makes sense.
It does. It works perfectly.
It does.
Like, you got to have a personality to have your online handle as Sugar Tits. So kudos to you. Cheers.
Open it for me.
Cheers to you guys for being here. Is that empty? You can't cheers
Well,
empty.
so
open that one.
I
and
need
then
him to
we'll
open
cheers.
it for me because we had a photo
Your nails
shoot.
look beautiful, by the way.
Thank you. I got them from Target. They were like $5. Best purchase I've ever made.
Well, you did a good job putting them on them
Thank
because they look
you.
amazing. And
Well-
I love a chick with good nails.
Yeah.
Like, it's such a rare thing. And my mom used to do it. My wife will do it every once in a while. And I don't know what it is, but it's like classy.
Yeah.
Until you go too long with them, and then it goes
Well,
the
right,
exact
and, like,
opposite
That's scary.
direction.
That's the problem with these is like they're kind of they're just long enough where like I can't open a freaking
Right.
can. So
You gotta like do it with the side of
yeah,
your thumb.
lucky enough for me, I'm always with AJ or Christopher, and like they just. I'm like, here you go.
Please
Open,
help
please.
me.
Help.
That's
I need you.
Well, if nothing else,
Dudes end
I
up-
am an enabler.
Dudes sometimes end up with the opposite, where they chew them too short, and then they
Oh,
can't
yeah.
pick up a coin. They can't open a beer can. Yeah, it's the exact problem, but in the other direction. It's
Yes.
so funny. So I wanted to ask you. I wanted to have you guys on because obviously we rebooted the podcast. We didn't really reboot it. We just started doing it again. I had to press pause because I got a job,
Gross.
like a jobby job. I know, it was disgusting.
Who wants to do that?
I'm so embarrassed, but I had to do it, and I was really afraid I was going to lose my job or not be able to get a job. So I had to like just press pause for a while.
Yeah.
And then that pause turned into way longer. Just like anything,
Sure.
don't take breaks. It's a bad idea because that break will be 10 times longer than whatever
It
you
was,
thought
Right.
it was
it was
going
a
to be.
gap year. It was
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. But I was like, all right, we're getting people on. I knew you had a band, and you'd already been on the podcast once, so we don't have to do like how did you get
Yeah.
into music.
It was like
I'll
one
ask
or
you
two
a couple of those
times.
questions, but where did the idea of starting this band specifically come from? Because we had talked
Yeah.
about like I think you were doing like you were experimenting with genres, different stuff. You weren't sure yet, so,
Right.
so how did you get from there in the last podcast
Yeah.
to here? Because I think that was 4 years ago you were on.
Oh gosh, it might have been longer.
were a
Honestly,
baby.
I
That's
was.
all I
I was
remember.
very young.
Very impressive, but very young.
Yeah. So growing up, I'm from way out in the sticks. So country music was like a big staple for me growing up. So I was like, of course, I love Carrie Underwood. Why would I not want to be like that? And then the more and more that I got exposed to kind of the scene, and like I grew up listening to vaudeville and like Skywind and all those bands. So that definitely played a role in my taste and like flair too.
In case anyone doesn't know, those were bands that did very well here and in this area, and you guys had a little bit of national love, but like most of us, like we get right there, we start flirting, and then our bands break up. Like,
Right.
like for whatever reason, doesn't matter. Somebody has a kid, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter why. But
Yeah.
okay, so you're starting to get heavily influenced by local
Yes.
bands, not just the shit on the radio.
Exactly.
Okay, so you're starting to kind of like develop
Yes.
what I call ahead of the curve creativity.
Yes.
Because like by the time that shit's on the radio, right, it's already been out for 4 years.
Sure.
They wrote that
Absolutely.
music like half a decade ago, and I'm not
Yes.
exaggerating. That's real. So you're that's what I call ahead of the curve creativity, where you're starting to seek out the bands that are unknown to pretty much anybody. Am I right? Is that fair?
Absolutely.
Okay, cool.
And then I was also in another project, Fever Dream, with like Logan Stolick or Jeremy Brown from Stormbreaker.
Okay.
So we did a couple songs there, and I was really into it. And then I,
When was this?
oh gosh, 2 years ago.
Okay,
3
okay.
years ago.
Okay. Perfect.
And then I, still being in a small town at the time, I was with my high school sweetheart, who I was like on and off with for a while. And I was like, okay, well, maybe I don't want to be in the music industry. Maybe I want to settle down and do like all those things and whatever. And so I kind of washed my hands of music for, I would say, probably a year or so. I went to esthetician school, and for people who don't know what that is,
I was just gonna say.
Yeah, nobody does.
That's a big word.
It
I
is a
only
big
know
word.
because-
Keep the syllables down.
I only know because musicians and hairdressers go together like
Right.
fucking
So-
oil and fire.
Yeah, so I am licensed to do like facials and waxing and like some of the like higher tech kind of facials.
Did they still make you learn a little bit of everything in order to get the actual?
Yes and no. So if I wanted to go for the full license, it would have been a cosmetology license. So I don't do hair or nails. Like I
Got
just
it.
focus on skin.
Got it.
So I was in the middle of getting my license, and I was still playing like acoustic shows with my dad and stuff. So I hadn't like completely been like, screw music, I don't want to be in it. I just wasn't sure if I wanted like my own band and whatever. So about halfway through esthetician school, my dad called me and was like, hey, your sister wants to do some tracking in the studio, and like I think you guys should do it together. Are you
She
familiar?
sing?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Are you familiar with Possession by Sarah McLachlan at all?
Sing it for us.
No.
Hum it. Hum it.
No. I'm good. It's Sarah McLachlan. You get the picture. Yeah. So,
Is that even Sarah McLachlan?
Sure, we'll go with it.
maybe.
Remember me.
Oh, yeah. Now I'm
In the
getting
arms of the
sad for
angel,
my
you know,
dog.
the sappy shit. So my dad was like, we should totally
I'm
rearrange
just
that.
gonna do that throughout some podcast randomly. I'm just gonna go. Da-da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
The
So
music bed now.
we were
It is a
gonna-
music podcast.
Yeah, we were gonna track that. And then we kind of like us three had a meeting, and we're like, well, maybe we should do some original stuff. And I was like, yeah, I'm totally hip to that. Like, I would like to do some writing because I really enjoy the writing portion of everything. So he was like, okay, I'm just going to write something, and then I'll send it to you guys, and then write over it and see what comes of it.
Wally was writing.
Yes.
So he's like writing
Yeah.
guitar
So
riffs?
he wrote
Or
the like
piano
all the
stuff, or
instrumental,
is it like pop?
everything.
What is it sounding like at this time? Is it
was-
the fruits, or is it the seeds that became this, or is this still something different?
So once we
Before
got them
this.
into the mix, it got, I don't want to say like heavier, but like kind of more rocky.
So it is the seeds of what became this.
Right,
Okay.
exactly.
So it starts off with riffs that Wally's writing,
Yes.
and you and your sister are singing over.
Correct.
Okay, I just want to make sure I'm keeping.
Yeah, so we did a couple songs with that. And my sister is pretty young too. She's still in high school and everything. So she ended up kind of bowing out after our first two songs got released, which I completely understand and respect. Like, she is still so young, and I'm so proud of her. Like, she's such a great kid. So then it kind of just fell into my hands of, okay, like, what do I want to do with this? And I still wasn't sure right away what I wanted to have this end up looking like. And then my dad and I were kind of talking like, okay, well, who would we kind of envision in this band? And
And you were like, "Get me 3/5 of vaudeville."
I tell you what, I am so serious. That is exactly what I said.
Accurate.
I am the most diehard vaudeville fan of all fucking time.
That's so funny.
I'm so
You guys
serious.
were dope. You guys were dope as fuck.
I grew up listening to them. I have them on constant repeat, like all the time. I still listen to all of their songs. And so while our first two songs released, this was right after my sister had dipped out on everything. I went to Germany, which was super fucking dope. If you ever get the chance to go to Europe, absolutely do it.
If I go to Europe, I don't know that.
I'm not coming back.
I don't know that.
Yeah.
I don't know that. I don't know that Germany's the first place I'm going. But I don't want to sidetrack on.
Yeah. Well, we have family out there, and then we also visited Austria as well, which was gorgeous. And my dad texted me one of the nights we were there. It was
I'm Jewish, by the way, so like, just in case anybody didn't understand me going,
shit.
you know what I mean? It's just like, just in case anybody didn't
And
catch that.
You're canceled.
Anyway,
No,
yep,
no, no.
canceled before we even get off the ground.
No,
here.
that's not a cancel. That's not even close to cancelable.
You invite me into your house, and this is how I act. But yeah, we had talked before I left about like who we would want in the group and whatever, and I was like, oh, like what do you think Shara's up to and AJ, like just kind of putting the feelers out there because I've been such huge fans of these guys my entire life, and naturally it's been my dream to play music with them forever. And so we were in Austria and we were in line waiting to get into this one restaurant.
Sorry about the noise.
No,
So fucking annoying. I just couldn't get the fucking cord out of the way. There we go. Okay, we're good now.
And yeah, I got a text from my dad and he was like, what time is it? And I was like, I don't know, like 10:50. What time is it for you? And he's like, it's go time. And I was like, what the fuck does that mean? So I called him and he's like, Shara is in, AJ is in, John is in, you have a full band now.
Wow.
And I started crying. Straight up just sobbing in the middle
Wow.
of fucking Vienna, Austria. Just like everything was coming to fruition. It was such a beautiful moment and I will never forget that. So that's kind of how this whole thing started. I got back the next week. After I got back, we sat down, we had a little powwow, and like Christopher asked me, once my dad had stepped out to take a phone call or something during this meeting, and he's like, okay, I want to hear this from you. Like, why do you want to do this? And I straight up was like, well, I took a year off thinking it would better my life, and it actually ended up making me freaking miserable. So I know that this is a part of my
What made you
life.
miserable? Just not having anything to do, or
I
the
had
lack
no
of structure,
outlet. Like for people.
So, because I'm also confused, and I'm sure other people are. What were you taking a year off from? Just school, work in school,
just like
work, school,
music in general. I was
Okay.
just like, I wanted to wash my hands of it. I wanted to be done with it. I didn't want to live that lifestyle.
Got
I didn't
it.
want
Okay.
really much to do with it. And it just felt like there was a void. There was something missing in my life. Like I wasn't fulfilling my purpose.
during that year.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So, yeah, I tried to go without it and it sucked.
Wow.
I had no creative outlet. Like for me, everything that I write in music, lyrics, melodies, everything, it comes from personal experiences and feelings and thoughts that I've gone through. So it's a way of like, it's therapy for me, really, just to get everything off my chest. And I make everything that I write so raw and so vulnerable and so relatable.
So you weren't just trying to be like, okay, I'm going to press pause and take a break from music, like
No.
professionally. You were like, you weren't writing music.
No, I wasn't
you
doing
weren't writing
anything.
lyrics. You weren't
Nothing.
doing shit.
Absolutely
you were
nothing.
fucking off in Germany.
I was in esthetician school, and I thought that was going to be my way of life, and I was going to settle down and
You
get
were-
married and
you
pop
were
out
in
2 kids. And
you were in esthetician school in
Esthetician.
Germany? In Germany?
no, I wish that would be
Oh.
pretty fucking
I
dope.
was like, I mean, I don't know, man. You're just running around making women look like communist robots.
No.
What do they know about makeup in Germany? Are they like a world renowned? You know what I mean? Like, I know that's a very American thing. Like we didn't
Absolutely.
invent makeup, but we definitely perfected
Oh
that
yes,
shit.
yes. Staying beautiful never goes out of style, Jared.
Okay, so you're losing your mind. You're
Yeah.
getting miserable.
I am. I was just like very upset about where I was at in my life.
And you had already done this music, and it had just been brewing.
No.
Okay, so we're kind of jumping back and forth a little bit then.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, like, I took a break. I wasn't writing anything. The first song that I wrote for this project was one of our first releases. It's called Seasons. That had been in the vault since 2020. Cause
What does your vault look like? Is there already guitar riffs in there that you're writing over, or are
There-
these like
well,
you write acapellas in your head, or
this
you
was-
just lyrics?
so my dad actually did all the instruments and everything for it: guitar, bass, drums.
you're writing over
everything.
music when you
Correct.
do this?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Yes. So
Dope.
he had
This
that
fascinates
one.
me because like I was always a shitty vocalist.
Same.
You know what I mean? And like
I
I've
know.
heard about
Have you
vocalists
heard
just
him
straight
sing "What's Up" by Four Non Blondes?
I'm just saying, like I hear about vocalists that write the lyrics and the vocal melody, and then they just wait till they hear the right music, and then they'll move it up or down.
Yeah.
I
They'll
have
switch
done
keys,
that
they'll
for
d-
some of
and
our
I'm like,
songs.
Wait, what?
That's over
like,
my head.
yeah, that's what I'm
For-
saying, dude. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, our newest release, Rabbit Hole, that's what I did. Like, I had a poem already written out for it and everything, because it's about Alice in Wonderland. That's one of my favorite movies, like, growing
alert.
up.
That's cool.
Yeah, spoiler alert. That's what it's about. So I had already, like, written something for it previous to actually hearing the instrumental that they had already had done for it, because once we got together, they sent me this gigantic Dropbox file of just a million different riffs or like full songs that had already been written with no vocals or melodies over it. So I had just clicked on a random one day, and I was like, oh, this is kind of dope. I think I'm going to use this for this one. And that's what I ended up doing with it.
Interesting.
So yeah, I don't necessarily
And
have...
that's one of your songs now?
Yeah, that was our latest
one.
release. Yeah, I don't really have
Streaming on
a-
all platforms now.
What's the name of the song?
Rabbit Hole. It's one of the ones that I sent you.
Perfect. That's the second one we have queued up.
Yeah. So, gosh, what was I talking about before this?
So-
Sorry, I
so-
trail off.
No, we were kind of, because I was just getting confused because we're kind of blitzing this thing. So you're back from Germany.
Mm-hmm.
You're writing tunes.
Yes.
And this was in the vault. This was something that
so
had been
we
sitting
had
there for a
released
while.
Seasons and Two Gray when I was in Germany. So this was
That was
before.
pre-us.
That was pre them.
Yes.
So they didn't touch any of those.
Gotcha.
But Seasons was in the vault for like 4 years before I had written to it. Because my dad was originally going to use it for like his solo project or for like a Skywine song or something. But he couldn't figure out anything to write over it. And then one night I got bored and I was like, maybe I'm going to putz around with this. And I did. And then it ended up being what it is now. Yeah. That's what we did with it.
Okay, cool. So when did you decide this was going to be like you okay, how do I even fucking let me press pause on that. Let me press pause on that. So
We'll be back after this break.
So that's funny. So what's it like for you? Let me press pause on that.
Yeah.
So what's it like for you to get the call? What the fuck have you been doing since vaudeville between that and this? Nothing? Like me?
No.
Because I haven't really done shit. I've joined 175 projects.
Right.
And not a goddamn one of them has gone past 2 songs.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and I'm actually probably not exaggerating, as crazy as that sounds.
Yeah.
But in 10 years of me not, well, actually, when was the last time the fucking Tyrants were on stage? Because that was the last time I was in a real band that actually did anything at all. That had to be at 28, so that had to be 11 years ago at this point. Yeah, so I actually don't know if I'm exaggerating when I say 175 projects that went absolutely nowhere.
Well,
What about you?
You wouldn't be a Minneapolis musician if you hadn't been in 46 different
Yeah.
projects.
Pull that mic a little closer to you. You don't have to
closer to
lean
me.
in. You can like
Hello.
move it up and fucking
Dingo.
Like, get really comfortable. Yeah, get
Kangaroo.
comfortable with it. Yeah, and you can move it around.
But after the vaudeville thing, we were kind of on a hiatus, and it was like, it was just one of those things where like just life happened.
Yeah,
and-
maybe someday we'll.
Right. Well, it'll be my autobiography, like. But yeah, like that. Went on hiatus, and that's fine and all that. But we ended up doing some kind of solo writing. It was like me, John, and Chris, Shara, and
Yeah, because Gummy had a kid, so Gummy's not doing anything. Do you
Yeah,
guys
yeah.
call him Gummy? Because I call
Oh
him
yeah,
Gummy.
Yeah.
absolutely. And like we still talk and hang out with him. Like he's doing the
I'm
dad
trying to
thing.
get him on the podcast.
Oh,
dude.
that'd be fun. Actually,
That would be awesome.
He's got stories
Oh,
for
yeah.
days.
Oh, yeah.
But yeah, so we were kind of doing sort of the same thing. We were just putzing around, like writing some demos and like figuring out what the hell we wanted to do. Long story short, we ended up meeting another musician, Abisha from Sick of Sarah, and we started a side project. Well,
Oh, I know Abisha a little bit.
yeah,
A little bit.
I guess it wasn't really a side project at that point, but it was like we did the Hotel Caviar thing, and
So you did a project.
Yes.
You guys did
Yep.
an album together.
Yep.
I think that's so smart when people do that. Like, and I think I told you to do this. I was like, don't make a choice. Fucking just do a country album and then do a pop album. I think we had this exact, and this is
Yeah.
where this got put in my fucking
Right,
head.
right,
This
right.
is like the beginning of this idea. Actually, was that podcast, because I was like, actually, we should all think like that. Like,
Yeah.
we should all have some sort of online content, right? I have my stupid podcast. And then everybody should have a version of their own solo project, right? So for me, I have this thing I'm calling the Rivalry, right? That's my little baby. I write all the music, Jeremy writes the vocals, and we fucking jerk each other off. It's great, right? Okay.
Hot Ones rehearsal. I'm coming.
The real point is that third thing now, because I don't think you can ever really be truly invested in more than 3 things. I think anything past that, and you're fucking everybody over, including yourself. So I don't want to take over your thing, but I want to throw this in there because it's a perfect callback to our last podcast together. Is that third thing can be literally whatever you want, right? It can be, hey man, you want to do a fucking like weird jazz project? Like fuck yeah, dude. And you just like do an album. And if it goes nowhere, who cares?
Right.
You throw it online, cool. It was still fun.
Right.
Like we're not doing this, we're gonna put it out there and maybe it blows up, but we're not doing this to blow up. We're doing this because it's like, I think you're fucking dope, I think you're fucking great. Let's see if we can do something fun. And so I started playing this experiment game with certain buddies when we're hanging out drinking beer, smoking cigars in the gazebo and shit. I'm like, okay, it's me, you, and then I'll like literally try to like almost roll a dice and think of a random third person. I'm like, what kind of music do the 3 of us make together? Right? Because I'm pretty versatile. I'm not very good at anything. I always say I'm not very good, but I'm dope. I'm just talking about like, I stole that from Sean Ware, but it you guys know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Point is like, one of my actual strengths is the jack of all trades thing. So like I can do a bunch of different styles of music fairly competently, right? I can write some catchy shit. That's all that matters to me, right? And I'm a tight musician. I'm tight. I can fucking come in on that one like fucking nobody, dude.
Lucky.
So,
Right? Can you imagine?
so basically what I'm getting at is like, that is fucking, I think the dream is that you can hook up with Abisha, you guys do a project, one album, and if it blows up, you guys want to do a second one and go on tour?
Right.
Like
That's cool.
But if it doesn't, it's not a waste of time because you already have.
You learn and grow from it.
But and again, to make sure we're staying true to my one of my many new theories is that you still have those other 2 things. You have your solo project and you have your online content. And this is what I believe, what I would call the tripod or the foundation of like a potential full-time music career. So Logan Stahlacher is right now, his online content is he's just ripping classic solos. He's like, this is one of my faves. Just rips that fucking solo perfectly.
I love that kid.
Fucking note for note, bend for bend. It's just exactly
He's
perfect.
so disgustingly talented.
Dude.
It's actually ridiculous.
So perfect. Some guys like my homie Mike Sallow, right? He does actual guitar lessons, and that's a real business for him. And then his online content is mini guitar lessons. Like he does like a 10 or a 15-second guitar lesson. That's what I'm saying. So everybody's got to have a little something online, right? For me, it's the podcast. I'm not doing the drum playthroughs. I'm not doing guitar playthroughs. I'm not good enough for any of that shit. I'm going to embarrass myself. Like I'm a dope live musician. That's where I'm good, is live. And I'm good at writing shit behind the scenes too, for other people and for myself. What I'm not good at is being like, here's the best way to use your left hand to make your snare drum sound more snappy. Like, I can do it, but I can't break it down for you.
Sure.
So I think what you did there, you guys accidentally did exactly what you should be doing. And I think there's too many people, specifically in our fucking town, that think every music project they join, everything they are, is right now, and my entire career's on the line. Like I tried to get this dude to come. I'm not going to name names because he's the homie, and I don't want him. I don't want to embarrass him. I don't want to embarrass him online because it's not. I'm not calling him out. But I am using you as a fucking example, motherfucker. I am doing it.
I hope you're watching.
I do hope you watch this.
You know who you are.
But he's got nothing musically going on, and I'm like, dude, just come jam with us. Come fill in. Like you don't have to join the band, but like we need a second guitar player. Come do shows with us. It's gonna be fucking dope. He's like, I'd rather do something like this, and I'm like, what are you fucking? Then go do that, and while you're working on that, come do this.
Right.
Like so then you still have all the connections and everything. You're like relevant and in people's minds. When I say relevant, that's what I mean, is like you're in people's minds. Like they
living
think
rent free in their head.
Yeah, like they're like, oh yeah, so and so. Like, oh, I heard he's got a new project. Maybe we should hit him up for this show. See if they want it. Like, but if you're just like off in the ether, fucking doing shit on your fucking keyboard, like that's cool. I get it, bro. But like, when a show comes up, nobody's calling you and being like, hey, do you happen to have a project I've never heard of before?
Right.
So it's like, dude, come do this while you get this dream off the ground. Like, So you guys kind of accidentally did what I think everybody should be going out of their way to do. And it started with that original podcast that you and I did together where I'm like, wait a minute, why choose?
Yeah.
Like, just do a whole country album, do a pop album, do a rock album, see what you like fucking better.
Right.
Maybe somewhere along, I think this is exactly what I said, maybe somewhere along that trail you find your own fucking version of it in your own sound, and you just roll with that.
Which is absolutely, like, for me, what Bullets and Butterflies is. Like, it's a mix of so many different styles kind of just thrown into one, and that's what I love so much about us is we're fairly diverse, I feel like, in our music.
That's fucking cool. That's
fun.
cool. So you did kind of stumble across your own sound, though. You didn't try to manufacture it and be like, because I do that sometimes. Like, I want to make a band that sounds like this.
Yeah.
Which can be a fun thing to play with. But like finding your own sound, I think, is inherently better. Like, it's going to make you more confident in it.
Right. Like, we have that, like, alternative rock foundation, but you also throw the keyboards in there, the synths in there that, like, kind of give it that ambient vibe. But you also have, like, a lot of our songs can be like acoustic driven, and it's just kind of a conglomeration of all of our different, like, personal styles, I feel like. Which
do you get into theory, like music theory? No?
Ooh.
Us two are the worst people to talk about that in the group. I'm gonna be so real with you.
No, me too. Me too. I know just enough to have, like, you know, be able to hang out at a dinner party, you know?
Right. Like, we're very much like by ear people.
I don't understand why there's not a B sharp.
Fair enough. Got it. Okay. I'm not gonna try to turn this into a thing. I will say this. This is a different podcast. This is about as deep as I can go. Is that belief? So I said I want my band, my rivalry project. I was like, I swear to God, this is true. I go, I'm gonna create a band that sounds like Coheed and Cambria meets Misery Signals, right? But that was just from the guitar and drum perspective, right? Once Jeremy joined on vocals, it's a different vibe. Sure. Point being is, I know just enough about music theory where I'm like, well, it's technically a blues band. No, I swear to God, like technically, like when you actually look at the chord progressions and, like, you go to music theory, like they're blues progressions. They really are. They're straight up blues progressions, and I'm just playing them in a way that would never remind anybody of blues ever.
Right.
But it's honestly, at the end of the day, they're fucking blues progressions. They're blues riffs. Like, it's 3-chord rock and roll, sometimes 4. Every once in a while, when I'm getting progressive, there's like 6, you know, or 8 in one riff.
That's too much. That's too
much.
I know.
It's a
lot. Trust me, on bass, there's still only 3.
You give me more than 4 strings, I get real confused.
But I feel, but I
That's
wanted to ask you
why he likes to play
that.
Dreams by Fleetwood Mac.
I wanted to ask you if you could break your band down and be like, what is it in its core?
I definitely
Wally
could
would
not.
Probably be the better one.
Absolutely.
For that, next time I have him on, I'll ask him.
And like him and Chris do a lot of like writing and like break it down like that for us. Like, I am strictly lyrics and melody. If you ask me to do anything else, I'm not your gal.
you're so good that you're going to be doing this for a long time, and going to and you're smart as shit. So you're going to absorb it like through osmosis.
So I'm not just a pretty face, Jared.
No, I would have said that. I'd have been like, listen, honey, you're really talented, but you're dumb as shit. So it might take a while. That's what I would have said. No, but you're talented, so you're going to be doing this for a long time. And you're smart. So even if you don't try, you're going to figure this out through osmosis. You're going to start catching on. And like when you go live in another country and you all of a sudden you're like,
when I
kind of speak a little
Vienna.
Germany. Right? German.
Germany.
I speak a little German, sorry. All right, the third beer's kicking in. Fuck you guys. Fuck you kids.
Here we go. Party time
so
now.
I want to, before we get too sidetracked, because we're starting to have some fun, I want to cover this because I love this shit. This is what I'm so fascinated about this because this is what really makes bands happen. This is what really makes bands not happen. Is these weird little conversations. Like, I called my bass player one day, way back in the day, and I'm like, dude, come play bass for my band. He goes, I don't know how to play bass, right? And I was like, and I go, you'll figure it out. And I swear to God, here's the bass player for the time.
I wonder who that sounds like.
He figured it out, and it was awesome. He was great at it.
That's awesome.
So you do the project with Abisha, and I hope I didn't come across as condescending or dismissive when I meant what were you doing? Nothing, like me. Because what you were doing in vaudeville was so active.
Yes.
You know what I mean? The amount of shows you were playing was so fucking busy.
It was ridiculous. Like, it was awesome, don't get me wrong, but it was a lot, yeah.
Did you play out regularly in live bands between then and now? Or was it just that one project?
With the Hotel Caviar thing, that was the only, like...
Great band name, by the way.
Thank you. Yeah, that was
Hotel Caviar?
Right? Isn't that
great
freaking
band name.
dope?
And I still love the album title. We did a 3-star review.
I have the
That's what it's called?
Yeah.
fanny pack. I have their merch.
So your band name is Hotel Caviar, and then your album was called 3-Star Review?
Yes.
Bro, that's genius.
Isn't it dope?
I loved it.
The only name I've heard recently that makes me juiced up that much is when Bud Ingram, the photographer, came on the podcast, and he was telling me about a band he shot back in the day, and the band's name was All 4 Inches.
That's perfect.
I'm like, that's the greatest fucking band name I've ever
That's
heard
incredible.
in my life. And I swear to God, I want to find anyone from that band name or from that band and get them on the podcast just to talk about
Of
the origin
course.
story of that name. Like,
Well,
come on,
you have
buddy.
to
Yeah.
verify the 4 inches, too.
Right.
No, you could verify it for me.
Yes, he would. If you could find anybody for that job, AJ Sugar is your man.
I know my role.
I know my role. Oh, that's so funny. Okay, so okay. I guess what I'm really trying to ask you is the best version of this question is, were you seriously active in a project or anything, or did this call come out of the blue?
It was a little bit of both, because Hotel Caviar, we were doing quite a bit, and it's super cliched at this point, but fucking COVID killed it, because our CD release
That's
was,
not cliche, dude. That's the reality
Yeah,
we went
but
through. It was horrifying.
our
dude.
fucking EP release was scheduled for April 3rd, 2020, or whatever
Yep.
year that shit was. And literally, like, everything closed down, like, mid-March, and I'm like, oh, that's fine, we'll push this back a couple weeks, and this will all blow over. And then everybody clearly knows none of that happened. And so we kind of lost whatever steam we had going.
Was it just like clubs being weird and shit getting slow, or did like one of you come down with COVID? Did somebody quit the band and freak out? Like
No,
That was when everything like shut
Yeah, it was
down.
like the first shutdown.
the actual lockdown.
Yeah.
So because we, like I said, we had our
2
show
weeks
booked.
to slow the curve.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so that's what I was saying is like we'll just push this show back like 2 weeks or whatever, not a big deal. And
funny.
that didn't happen, and so we were still trying to stay a little active and do whatever we could, like online and blah blah blah. But like I said, we just lost any momentum we fucking had with it, and through no fault of anybody's or whatever, it just kind of dissolved and whatever. And so then we were kind of doing basically nothing at that point until we got the call from Wally and Josie. And
So you guys were kind of like, you were cooking. You were trying to come up with something.
Yeah.
You guys never really, it sounds like you guys never really stopped.
no, we were always demoing at least, and like trying to like
Okay.
write stuff and have shit in the back pocket.
Interesting.
Like,
Good for you.
Yeah.
Fucking seriously good for you guys, man. Like that matters, dude, because I think that's what fucked me.
Sure.
Is I did set everything down and quit. I didn't quit, but like the calls stopped coming in, the ideas stopped coming in. Like I said, I joined 175 projects. I got sent in, fucking, but nothing. And it's not even like it just secretly I wasn't good enough and like they went off and did something without me. I'm saying like none of those projects ever went anywhere.
right.
So no, good for you guys, man, because that's what you guys need to be doing. For the listeners out there that are like, fuck, man, I don't know, should I hang it up? Don't fucking hang it
No,
up.
always be
Keep
doing
the chops
something.
up.
Always be
and,
doing
and try
something.
to be great. Like I got this Vince Lombardi quote I fucking am living and dying by now. I preface it with my own phrase, which is, I have no interest in being good. I want to be great. Mm-hmm. That's how I start the sentence, right? And I say this to myself, like, I have zero interest in being good. I want to be great.
Mm-hmm.
And that doesn't mean I want to be the best drummer of all time. It means I want to be fucking dope. Like, I want people to be inspired when they come see us at a
Absolutely.
concert or listen to my fucking records, right? Okay, that's number one. And then how you do that is this is the Vince Lombardi quote, is we will relentlessly pursue perfection, knowing full well we'll never achieve it.
Oh, absolutely.
But somewhere along the way, we will find greatness.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's my shit. Why do you have to be a Packers coach? Fuck, man. Fuck. That's why we're not winners in this state. It's because none of us think like that. None of us have that attitude or that mantra. Like, everybody's so worried about asking to get paid for shows and shit. Like, it's about the art. Yeah, it's about the fucking art. That's why we're doing it.
Yeah.
Right? But we're out here trying to make a fucking living.
Yeah, exposure.
Right.
So we
pay
can
the fucking bills,
we can do the goddamn thing. And like the bars run a business. We're all running a business.
Absolutely.
Let's start treating, because there's a reason why Austin, Nashville, LA, New York all have better music businesses than us, even though there's more talented musicians in this town per capita than anywhere in the world. Like, I can throw a fucking rock in any direction and literally hit a fucking great guitar player right square in the middle of the forehead. Like,
and then they're not so great after that.
It's not even like I nicked him in the ear, like, because he happened to turn his head at the last second. No. I nailed him in the forehead, dude. That's how many great guitar players are in this town. And I'm serious about that.
No,
like,
you're not wrong.
It's a great, but we don't have our shit together anymore.
Yeah.
So we gotta like just build this thing back up from the ground up. We're not no savior's gonna come in. Like, I'm not gonna blow up and get Joe Rogan money and build a club. Like, none of these things are happening. We have to do this band by band, club by club. So you're in a position to where you can be a part of that again, right? So what I want to ask you guys, as somebody who's been around for a while and somebody who's also technically been around for a while, you grew up in the scene.
I grew up in the scene.
A lot like me, actually.
Absolutely,
Except for my dad wasn't active. My band was a buddy of all the other bands.
I mean, I've been conditioned, as my dad likes to say, like, since I came out the womb, pretty much.
So here's my technically sang on the first vaudeville record.
I did, actually. Yeah, I did backing vocals for them for one song.
Oh, I do remember that.
It was so cool. I have it ingrained
in
my
12
brain.
or 13 or 14, right?
Oh no, I was like 6.
Holy shit!
You
I didn't realize you were that old.
Damn it! I've been outed.
I'm just kidding.
I'm
I was
78 years old.
I was a little kid, and I remember it was when Dad was still in the big red barn. He was like, "Yeah, you know the vaudeville guys? You should do backing vocals on this one song of theirs that really needs it." And I was like, "Me?"
Now, did they pay you?
Oh, fuck no.
Child labor,
No
exploitation.
Shit. Funny, but yeah, that
you'll get a royalty check at some point. Don't worry.
Yeah, as soon as that song actually makes a profit. So here's what I want to ask you, though. Seriously, here's what I want to ask you, and I don't want to skirt past that, but I was just very curious. As like, what was it like? Because I honestly assumed ignorantly, like an asshole, that like you guys weren't really doing much. Maybe you were jamming together, but like. And the call just kind of came out of the blue.
Sure.
But, and I do want to get back to this, but as trust me, this is actually what I'm a little good at. So anyways.
There's a path here.
What do you guys think, from each of your experienced perspectives, what do you think we should be doing? And you can speak from any level that you think it's best to kind of critique or give advice as... What should promoters be doing, bookers be doing, venue owners be doing, other bands, both really experienced ones that are above you, and maybe they're not giving back enough, or new bands that are coming up and they don't really have enough appreciation or respect for what came before them? Whatever you think anybody can do, because I do a lot of preaching about that stuff, and it comes through a lot of these conversations. I get inspired. I'm like, well, what if you do this? And then I'm like, actually, this is a great idea. I'm going to fucking buy. And then I beat it to death for like 6 months until I refine it into a phrase, right? So let's try to plant some of those seeds tonight. Like, what would you like to see more of to do everything from any level, whether it's getting more people out to shows, whether it's making the shows more enjoyable while you're there, whatever you want. I got to go to the bathroom. I want you guys to riff on this, and I'm going to be able to hear you from over there.
Okay. I think a lot of it really, when it comes down to the wire, like everything is very much teamwork based. Like venues supporting people who are like still in the infant stages in their group. Eventually those bands could have potential to build up and become national acts.
Right.
Well, these bands are going to remember how well said venue treated them, or like any booking agents, anything along those lines. Like, that's important. So kind of doing favors like that and helping each other out, I feel like is super important. That's how you build a scene. That's how you get people connected. That's how you meet a million other people. And I just think that's very important to be able to support each other in that way. Like, it's a delicate ecosystem. And when one like kind of destroys the other in a way, like, it's very unhelpful and bad for both sides.
Yeah. And I feel like, I mean, we've obviously talked about this a shit ton, but for all of you beautiful viewers out there, like, that's part of what we're doing with like the 400 Fest, because back in the day, that was the scene. Is like, you go to the 400 bar, it doesn't matter if you're playing or not, there's 250 people that are coming out to see 4 local bands, and it's every weekend, and it became a scene where people wanted to be out there, wanted to go to these shows, wanted to be involved. And that's what built that whole scene up to the point where, some of us bands moved up to the bigger venues and all that. But then you still keep trying to, like, for lack of a better phrase, like, pay favors. Like, hey, we played with you all the fucking time at 400 Bar. Come play with us at Fine Line. Come play with us at First Ave. So the scene needs to start there. And
you're speaking from... You were in a band that drew very, very well.
Yeah, we got
like you guys weren't one of those bands that struggled and you guys fucking crushed it. You guys were awesome. You drew incredibly well.
It started hard though. Like, we did struggle. Like, I mean, it wasn't like hey, here we go.
It wasn't.
It wasn't like 300 tickets just out the door. Like, it was.
Use your bathroom.
Yeah, go upstairs.
But it was like,
Yeah. I don't think it's possible for many reasons, including the lack of equipment. But
I need a step ladder up there.
That'd be so gross.
But yeah, there was definitely shows where it's like there's 15 people that come out or whatever.
Really?
Like, yeah. And
see, because you guys were so good, I kind of always, and I came in because I've talked about you guys. I managed your band for 2 weeks?
Yeah, something like that. It
was like a month or two or whatever. Mm-hmm. It was so short. I remember having a meeting with you guys, and I was like, listen, it's going to seem like I'm not doing a goddamn thing for like 6 months. Mm-hmm. Like, because you guys already have so much going.
Sure.
And I want it to be a very slow train. It's not like I'm going to come in and blow everything up. I'm not that kind of guy. That's not. Yeah, you guys had too much going for you. Trust me. I did that with a different band, and I was like, oh, we're blowing this thing up. Like, because you have a core talent, but then you have like 2 people that are fucking awkward and they're ruining everything, right? So like, it happened. But I want people to understand that you're speaking from a band that did very well, and I'm actually very surprised because you were so good that it didn't happen right away. Because the Tyrants, we had 0 people at our first show. Like, Steve, you were not there at the first couple, but it was like our second show we had like 17 people, and then all of a sudden it was literally the third show it was like 34. Then the fourth show it was like almost 100, and it like by the time we met, like, we were drawing 200 people. You guys were drawing 200-300 people. Like. Right. When we put the right bill together and it wasn't a fucking snowstorm on New Year's Eve, like, we could have easily drawn 700 people to a venue with 2 other bands.
Yeah,
that's
absolutely.
What was going to happen on that New Year's Eve until we got 3.5 feet of snow. But we still drew 200 people, 250 people. Like, it was still a crazy good turnout for a literal blizzard on actual New Year's Eve, dude. It was insane.
Yeah,
but long story short is like. You're speaking from a perspective of like you've done it. You've climbed the ladder a little bit. You may not have blown up, and we're not sitting here claiming we got top 40 singles or anything like that. But
but we did. But
did you guys really?
Fuck no.
I was like, holy shit, you have 39.
I got my gold record on the wall.
39, and I missed it. Fuck. Dude, you almost had me, dude. I almost got
rolling with that.
Dude, I almost got really embarrassed, dude. Is there another one of these in the door? Yes. There should be. Thank you, brother.
Have a beer.
Thank you.
But yeah, I mean, it was interesting, and it was super fun times, and like a lot of it was like, again, we talk about building the scene, but it's also like building the scene with the bands is one thing for sure, but also with the fan base, because we would always throw these fucking ridiculous after parties at our apartment.
I remember that apartment.
And so it's like,
I came to one of them and I was like, I'm old. I was like, I get why I'm here, but I was like, I'm officially the old guy.
But
this was a while ago too.
But it was,
you guys were all like 20 something, and I'm like 32 already, or 30,
it was
whatever
just
the
such
fuck
a blast
it
though,
was.
because like you bring 200-300 people to the 400 bar, and then half of them come back to your 3-bedroom apartment. And it's like, all right, cool. This is.
I remember Gummy walking around in a fucking literal bathrobe.
Oh yeah.
Naturally.
Like in the middle of the party, he just starts playing the fucking keyboard and starts singing and shit. Like
that's how you get them bitches.
Oh yeah.
That's definitely why I didn't get no bitches.
You're telling me you didn't walk around in a bathrobe and play and sing on
That's
the piano?
actually the key.
No, I
That's the
didn't.
key to success. Is the
I'm sure it is. I'm sure it
Gosh,
is.
I need to take notes.
So, oh fuck, I had a follow-up question to this. Okay, so I missed the first part. So whatever you guys said while I was gone going to the bathroom, because I thought I was going to hear you, I couldn't. So what else can we do? Whether it's like I said, whether it's a beginning band, a big time band, and I'm serious. I don't care if it's fucking Trampled by Turtles. Like you guys collectively have so much experience that you've definitely seen things that could be done better, or things that are being overlooked because somebody's already making money. And it's like, oh, well, if they did this, though, it would make a better concert attendee experience. That's what I'm saying. So, like, hit me with any creative ideas you have from anybody, from a booker, from fellow bands, from a club owner, from a bar owner. I don't give a fuck. This is what I'm most curious about right now, is what can we immediately start doing at any fucking level, except for the fan level.
Right.
Like,
I mean, I was talking a little bit about how, like, a lot of...
support local music is the laziest fucking thing somebody can say to start helping the scene. Fuck off.
No.
Like,
I think
create something that's worth supporting.
Right.
You know what I mean?
A lot of it is definitely, like, teamwork based, in my opinion. Like, when venues help out these smaller bands, like when they're still in their infant stages, like I would still consider us in our infant stages for sure. Like we played 2 shows. That's nothing compared to a lot of other bands out in the scene right now.
So what does that look like to you? Does that mean like a new band Tuesday night or a Thursday night? Like, you know what I mean? Like what, or is this like an open jam night? Like, cause there are bars that are trying to do this shit.
Right.
So at your age and experience, what do you think as a 22-year-old girl, or however fucking young you are? I don't want to know. Everything makes me feel old. So point being is,
she's 47.
You're hip and you're young. I'm not. So what
depends on what day you get
what do people your age, what would somebody your age think is like, what would get you to go see local bands and rock music? Like,
gosh,
what is people in your generation looking for?
See,
and trust me, I'm asking my little brother who's the exact same age at the same fucking thing.
Because I've grown up around people who are older than me, and I've grown up in the scene. So I don't consider myself kind of like the typical 20-something-year-old person.
Fair. Okay. But still, humor me.
Yeah.
If you need a minute.
Gosh, I don't know. Yeah, ask AJ first. Let me ponder
as a fellow
that.
burnout.
Better to burn out than fade away, right?
Cheers. Thank you guys for being here. By
Cheers.
the way,
Thank you for having us.
I'm already having a blast.
Me too.
So, what do you think? Because everybody knows my opinions because I've been preaching them. I'm trying to refine this into, like, eventually, if we're lucky, like, we're gonna actually, like, legitimately develop some version of a non-boomer PowerPoint presentation. Like, seriously, like fucking charts and graphs and percentages. When I was a kid, well, basically when I was your age, Joe Spanbauer told us 2% of your flyered audience will show up to your show. That's easy math. So I went, okay, if I actually pass out 5,000 flyers, I'm guaranteed 200 people. That's why my band went from 0 to 200 people in like literally 3 months. It wasn't because we were good or we paid our dues. Seriously, we were. I mean, maybe we were good. Maybe we paid our dues. I'm just saying it wasn't organic.
Right.
It was, I heard a number, did the fucking math, did the work.
Yeah.
Straight up pounding the pavement, passing out flyers.
Do not miss those days, but it does work.
It does fucking work, right? And I know the Facebook ads work, and I know the Google shit works, and I know all that works. So, and there are numbers to that, so we can do that. That's not great for podcasting, but it's a great example, right? So that's why I'm asking you this question, like really pressing like this. Does this mean we're talking like do we need like a weird music version of like a comedy open mic night where you just come up, your band comes up on house gear, you play a song. If you're fucking dope, We ask you to play 1 or 2 more.
Right.
If you're super dope, at the end of 2-3 songs, we book you for like a Wednesday night.
Yeah.
And if you draw 50 people, we go, okay. And then
you're playing main room.
Okay. Now we're talking. So then, now that I've got this band who drew 50 people on a Wednesday night, now I go, okay, I got these 2 bands. Let's fast forward a year or 2 from now. Okay. So we've got Bullets and Butterflies. You guys are drawing 250, 300 people, right? Maybe it's 500 people. Maybe it's 1,000 people, whatever. But it's still a local or regional thing. Same thing with the Montoya deal that I'm doing, right? Okay. So we're going to have these guys headline. We're going to have Montoya play second, and we want you to open this show. And you're going to show up on a Friday night. There's going to be 800 people there. Like, is that what we're... Do you see what I'm saying? Like, I'm asking you guys to kind of like imagine this with me and talk this through with me. Like,
well, that's kind of what we're trying to do because we're starting a sort of like, I don't even know what to call it. Like, it's not really an open mic thing, but like at the Midway Saloon, it's going to be twice monthly, like a showcase sort of deal where it's like we're having like these bands that have done things, are coming up and doing things or whatever, and it's like, hey, come play for 20 minutes, like. And like it's going to be different bands, but like kind of a same rotating cast of like things. And I think that's a good way to start it because that's supposed to be like the crowd attracts a crowd thing, like build it up. And it's going to be
the
like,
nice thing is the 400's in the city too. That's one thing is we need more venues in the city. And I think there's some politics involved with this because the taxes to operate a music venue in the city limits.
I'm sure it's shit.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's really fucking tough.
Yeah.
So there definitely needs to be something done at that level, which we can't really do on the podcast. But if we figure out like, oh, this law is the fucking problem, this tax is the problem, maybe we could put together a list of signatures or make some fucking phone calls. I mean, Surly did it. You know what I mean? Like it can be done.
But I think that's definitely a part of it too is the venue thing is because like back in the day, like you had 400 Bar, you had Triple Rock, Fine Line would actually book local shows, the Entry would book local shows, and none of that fucking shit happens anymore. So everybody's like just stuck playing, and a lot of them are decent venues, don't get me wrong, but you're stuck playing breweries or hole in the wall
all the time.
Yeah, or
they're good venues, but like maybe their sound.
They're not venues though.
They're not music venues. They're bars who do live music.
Yeah.
Right.
And they don't have a professional PA, or they don't have a professional sound guy, or they do have a professional sound guy and they don't have a professional PA. So he's doing the best he can.
Though.
Right.
Right. Or we're stuck in the suburbs is another one that I noticed. Like, and that's a problem when you live in Burnsville and I'm playing in Coon Rapids. That's a tough drive.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's why we need people to be able to sustain profitable music venues downtown because everybody's 20 to 30 minutes away. That's a reasonable drive. But Burnsville to Coon Rapids is literally like 45 minutes to an hour.
Yeah.
You got to have some fucking diehard people to come see you do that, right? Because you're a fucking local band, right? Nobody wants to admit this, but that's what we all are, right? Like, at least at this level of our careers.
Yeah, absolutely.
So you're asking a fucking lot for people to get a babysitter, fucking take time off work, or take the next day off work. Like, it's a whole ass thing. And then you're like, by the way, we also are asking you to drive an hour away from your fucking house.
Yeah.
Hang out with us till midnight, get drunk, make it super dangerous. Fucking come on.
Right.
Let's get back downtown where everybody's 20, 30 minutes away and you can fucking taxi it or Uber it back home.
Right.
Absolutely.
I think that's a big part of it too.
No,
is
absolutely.
we lost our downtown music culture. You look at Nashville, you look at Austin.
And I mean, this is another completely on topic, but like completely different conversation. But the Live Nation thing, like taking over all these fucking venues or closing these venues and shit.
Yep. So the good, so in case, just to catch everybody up, a lot of the good venues that we do have that we're saying we don't have, there's no avenue for young local bands to get up in it.
No, there's nothing. Like I used to be able to sexual, like I used to fucking be able to send one email and get.
Were you throwing up your Murph? Breaking through the noise is by far the biggest challenge for professional music creators. Percent of professional music creators who choose each challenge among. So breaking through the noise, joining dots between social activity and streaming, lack of time to create. Oh, I see what it is.
Yeah. Well, I think breaking through the noise is like another conversation.
Yeah,
because
there's so many bands.
There's so much shit, but I think
that's why I think it comes back down to like,
right?
Can we build a live music scene?
Like back to your question about like people my age, like what is there, like kind of like I feel like a lot of people my age are stuck on the very mainstream side of things where they want to listen to all the mainstream music and they don't necessarily give.
That's no different than our generation.
Well, yeah, they don't
keep going.
Give the local scene really the time of day.
Mm-hmm. So it's the same problem. Okay, keep going.
But
I'm thinking this through with you. Okay.
Just kind of having an open mind and being like, oh my gosh, I think it's really cool when you start liking a band who started off as this small local band that turns into a national act.
That's exactly
like,
what
don't you want to be
about.
a diehard?
Yeah,
so give it a chance. Give it the time of
like
day,
So I'm so old that Murph may be the only one who can relate to me on this, but
get over
here, Murph. Is he calling you old, Murph?
That's okay.
Murph is when Murph came on the podcast the very first time, his bio that I wrote, because if you guys don't send me bios, I make them up. And depending on
what
how
was
much,
ours?
it was super simple. But
I
usually
I
get
don't
really,
think I ever knew that we were supposed to write a bio.
So usually I get really creative and I like make up like crazy weird fetishes for you guys. Like it's hilarious, and like he's into competitive duck racing and dumb shit like that.
Who isn't though?
But so for Murph's first appearance, I went. He's one half of two boomers that I used to work with, or something like that. And he thought it was funny, but his partner Rod, who they used to have a company, he was like, "That's fucked up, dude. I'm not a boomer, bro. I'm Gen X or whatever the fuck." I was like, "That's not the point,
Brilliant.
dude." It was just
Brilliant.
I'm calling you guys
Gen
old.
X by 6 months.
Yeah, it was like he was like legitimately kind of mad about it, like,
that's
and it
funny.
was so fucking funny.
That's awesome.
So, anyways, what were we fucking talking about? We're talking about young generation getting involved with the music,
opening
scene.
their eyes and opening their ears to like kind of the more local
yeah,
scene.
that's what it was. So,
Like I do have some
discovering a
friends that
band.
are like very big on the local scene. Like one of my best friends from high school, Kenzie. Like she loves kind of the local bands and the local scene.
That's what it was. You reminded me. So
But yeah.
so Murph's the only one that can really. That used to be the point. The point is to like find a new band and ride the wave with them. Right.
Absolutely.
Like if you and I remember hearing about this the most when I was a little kid, and I mean little kid. So I'm like 4, 5, 6 years old, and I'm already hearing people hate on Metallica. So this is like literally 88, 89, 90, 91, right before the Black Album comes out.
Yeah.
And I swear to God, I can quote this guy, and I will never forget this because it put this seed in my head of like getting ahead of the creative curve. And he goes, "I remember when I was the only fucking one that liked that band, and I told everybody that they were going to be the biggest band in the fucking world, and everybody told me they suck. And now they're fucking popular? Fuck you guys. You only like them because they're fucking popular."
Right.
And I'm telling you, I don't know what I was, 5, 6 years old tops. Maybe I was 4. But it really hit me hard, and I was like, oh, like it matters, like, if you're, like, a real fan.
Yeah.
And it, like, influenced me with sports and shit, too. Like don't jump on the bandwagon of the Vikings when they finally win the Super Bowl, you fucking
Been a
douchebag.
Miami Dolphins fan since I was like 10, and they're not good.
Keep riding that wave, brother. Keep riding that. Eventually, someday.
One of these years.
That ball
Someday.
goes right over my head.
But no, you're right. You're right. So are you in that vibe that you carry with that of like loving that idea?
Yeah.
Do you think you're a rarity, or do you think there's other people in your generation that
think
just don't know how to do it? Or
I think
or
it's hard
get
to come
access
by
to it?
because I feel like a lot of people just don't think about it.
And we don't advertise. Like, we're not known as a music town anymore.
Right.
Like, nobody from the suburbs thinks, oh, when I get a fucking car and I'm 16, 17, 18, we're going to fucking go into the city and see a killer concert.
And
They
I
don't think about
also
that.
feel like not enough venues.
Am I right or am I wrong? Like, I want to riff together on this. I don't want to.
No, I think
I don't
you're
want to
right,
rant at you.
Like, because this was before like my time in Minneapolis, but it's like we were a music town with like Soul Asylum and Prince and Motion City soundtrack and all these like big cool
Yeah, that's
fucking
what I'm saying.
bands
And
came
for
out
me,
of here.
it was like, let's fucking go downtown and see a concert.
Yeah.
We didn't know where we were going. You just went downtown. You found a music venue because they
Right.
were literally on every block.
Everywhere.
Could have been a dive bar that you had to sneak into. Could have been a real venue that did an all ages show like First Avenue, right?
Well, and that's what I like. I think that not enough venues do all ages anymore, or like even 18 plus. You know, I feel like everything now is 21 plus.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I feel like,
And I think there's a reason for that.
and I do
think it's
get
'cause
that.
people got in
Legality
trouble.
wise,
Yeah,
it
with
makes
underage
sense.
shit.
But also just like money, like they want the bar sales. Like an all
Right.
ages show isn't going to make as much as a 21 plus show, and so
That
it's
is
like,
very true.
It makes
That is
sense, but
very true.
I feel like specifically for me, and I know this is probably just a personal problem, but I am friends with people who aren't 21 yet, and getting them into.
Yeah, you're right on that weird bubble.
Right, exactly. So I could add like 50 plus more people to come to our shows, but I can't because I can't get people who are too young.
So that
into
show I
said
told you about?
venues.
It's all ages, but it's 21 plus to drink.
Mhm.
So
Right.
they figured it out.
yeah, you just get the wristband.
Exactly.
Or
So
the
what are
black
they
X's,
doing
like,
that other bars aren't willing to do?
I
don't know.
don't know the exact.
But also at the
logistics,
end
that's how
of
you
the
solve that
day,
problem.
like
Right.
so many people have fake IDs now
True.
that it like doesn't even matter. Like, okay, make your show 21 plus. You're still gonna have underage people in there. Chances are
That
there
is
are
true.
still gonna be people in there who have like fake IDs and shit. Like
Yeah.
at the end of the day, why don't you just make it all ages and be like, here you go?
It's all ages, 21 to drink.
Yeah.
Fucking overcharge for pizza.
Yes.
You
Exactly.
know what I mean?
I just think that is such a big thing.
And then what you do is if an adult walks up and they have like a 21 plus wrist and they go, dude, can I get a water? You give them like the glass of water with ice and water in it. And if it's a kid who doesn't have the wristband and he goes, can I have a water? You sell him an $8 bottle of water. There's your fucking money.
Perfect.
There's your money.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, seriously. And I know how fucked up that sounds, but Station 4 did that back in the day, too, where it was like you couldn't even get in front of the stage unless you were 21. Or no, it was either that or it was the other way around. Like,
Well, they had the bar side.
yeah,
over
you
there.
couldn't go up to the bar
Yeah, yeah.
unless
Yeah.
you couldn't even go into that side.
Yeah,
I'm
yeah.
almost done paying off my drink loan.
At Station 4? At Station
Yeah.
4? That's hilarious.
Thanks, Sword Lord.
Thanks,
Yeah.
Sword Lord.
I just think
You guys are too young for Sword Lord. You might remember Sword Lord.
I don't know. Well, I mean, there's a chance I know who sort of.
His name was
but-
Nathan, and he owned a movie theater, and he tried to like hybrid the two together forever, and it never worked. It never fucking worked. And he was trying to buy national shows, and he owes so many people so much money. Dude. Like, he was a good dude to me, at least. You know, he never fucked me. He never fucked any of my bands, but he was one of those guys that were. So I talk about the business side of it, right? Like he was booking death metal bands and like black metal bands, which is fine. But the money he was paying them, he couldn't draw a crowd to pay them, so he was always losing money. And he'd
Right.
like hire local bands to try to supplement, and it just never went well. And that's why I always talk about guys like, if you want to do a podcast, don't do mine, because it's the death, it's the death metal of podcasts. You know what I mean? It's not
I
necessarily a
love
bad
that.
idea. It doesn't suck. But it's the hardest thing to monetize.
Sure.
Yeah.
Like if you want to do a podcast right now and you want to monetize it, do a true crime podcast.
yes.
For real. I'm not even fucking around. I'm
So
serious.
many
Like,
people are into that.
it's a huge shot. Or just pick a niche and do it. You know? Like I got a buddy who I said we need to do one. I got a name. I came up with a name. I call it Gear Responsible. Right? So like literally like it's going to be a gear show. Like, what I'm going to do is I'm going to fucking get him, because he's got this library of gear. And I'll be like, all right, we're going to do in a 30-minute episode, or maybe it's 20 minutes. I don't know. Maybe it's 5 minutes. I don't know. But it's going to be like, we're going to do this snare drum. And we're going to tune it up, and we're going to have a badass drummer from around town just come in and just riff on this snare drum.
Just
You're
nerd
like-
out about it.
Yeah, and we're just going to literally just nerd out about this fucking
That's awesome.
one snare drum. You know what I mean? And we're going to call it Gear Responsible, like irresponsible, but gear responsible.
Love
Oh,
it.
I get it.
You know what I mean? And it's here's here,
You were your
and it'll be everything about here's how to like tune, play,
Yeah.
and take care of this piece of gear.
That'd be fun. Actually.
You know, and I think
Yeah.
I think it would blow up fairly quickly.
Yeah.
And then we could even have like reps from the companies come on
sure,
and
sure.
talk about like,
Yeah.
you know, here's this head, here's this guitar head. Here's what you should do to maintain it, blah, 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 blah. And just have like a badass local guitar player just come in and fucking rip on it. Boom. Now we're plugging the local scene. See, this is what I'm talking about. Like, that's something I could do to help the local scene and like build an aura around it. That's not just about going to live music. So that's
Yeah.
what I'm asking is like, what do you guys think everybody else can do? A venue owner, a booker, a promoter. And that's
Right.
why when you said, okay, let's help out the new bands. Okay, what does that look like? Is that a Tuesday night open band night where you come on, you play house gear? If you do well, they're like, all right, let's book them on a fucking Wednesday night see if they can even draw 50 people.
See,
if they
well,
do,
and
now
that's
we'll have
what's
them
hard
open
too,
for a
is
dope
getting
local
people
band.
out on those weeknights.
That's
you
the
know,
test.
it's
It's supposed to be
it's
hard,
a killer.
right? It's supposed to be hard. Joe Spanbauer did this to me. I'm not even joking. Urban Wildlife on a fucking
He's
Wednesday
the shit.
night.
I like.
He
that
goes,
guy.
if you can draw 50 people on a Wednesday night to Urban Wildlife, I'll book you on a Friday night show. And then that show was sold out at the Urban Wildlife. And it was like, holy fucking shit. Like the opening band, we played to a sold out crowd. It was amazing. It was like one of the best
That's
nights of my
awesome.
life.
Love it.
But we don't have Joe Spanbauers anymore. We don't have Shannon Brettles anymore. We don't have Bill Berries anymore. So who are the next people? You mentioned Corey Carlson earlier. So he's doing some cool shit booking.
Oh my gosh, I have so much respect for Corey. He's awesome. He is like
Get that off the screen. I shouldn't have even fucking said that. We're live, too. Buy it. Buy it. Buy it right now. I will fucking send you the money for it. Buy it right now. Gear
1
responsible.
cent.
Gearresponsible.com. Seriously, buy it right fucking now, and I will give you the fucking money.
Somebody's already on it.
Fuck. God, I shouldn't have said that out loud.
My dad's gonna buy it just to spite you.
Motherfuckers.
And say, I have a text message.
Yeah. Oh no.
Fuck, that was so dumb of me to do that. I shouldn't have said that out loud. That is a great idea.
It is.
No, I like it. I like it.
But yeah, Corey is very much into helping anybody in the local scene kind of get elevated to that next level and so on and so forth. So that's why he's so into doing this Midway Saloon like rotation thing. Like he really just wants to help everybody get to whatever next step they want to get involved with. Yeah, he's great.
We need more people like him.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah, and he works with some huge names in music. But he still he has a
Stay
place.
on that mic.
He has a place. Sorry.
You can pull it back to you. Get comfortable
I
with it.
know, but I'm just
There
so
you go.
fidgety.
It sounds so much better when you guys are on it, though.
Yeah, sorry. Okay.
You fucking weirdo.
He just pretend to suck off the mic.
Yeah, you did. You totally did. For the listeners that
See,
aren't watching the screen right now,
I
have
know
no
him.
idea what just
They-
I
happened.
know him
Hear
so
it.
well
She didn't
that
even
I
have to
didn't even
see it.
have to look at you. I just know.
Is he blowing the mic right now?
He is.
Not again. Oh,
Not, right.
Not again.
AJ is one of the best big brothers that
You guys are
I.
the best.
or worst ones.
Well,
No, you guys are the best.
he's the devil on my shoulder, and I love him for it. You know.
He's like the muted devil though. So
Yeah.
he wants you to do bad shit, but not like too bad.
Well,
Right.
I'm muted because my mouth was full.
I love you so much.
Dude, that's my favorite shit, dude. I'm so glad. By the way, how do you feel about this? I'm so glad gay jokes are coming back.
I never stop.
I know. And
He has
honestly,
the most gay jokes
and
I've ever heard.
I have so many gay friends, living in the city of Minneapolis for 40 years. Well, I haven't lived in Minneapolis for 40 years, but long story short, I'm 40 years old. So I have a lot of gay friends, and we also never stopped. It was honestly straight people who were like, my cousin's gay. And I was like, okay. But this person's gay and they think it's okay. And they're like, that's disgusting. I'm so glad. I'm so glad we won that war. 'Cause
AJ
that
is
was a dumb
literally
war.
the chillest person I've
I know, that's why I
ever
love
met in
him.
my life. He's the shit.
I know.
Getting pissed off
Honestly,
just takes too
I
much
don't-
energy.
It does.
Honestly,
It really
I've
does.
never actually met a truly uppity or shitty gay person. Every gay person
Yeah.
I know is cool as fuck.
Oh, trust me, they're out there.
Oh, I know they are. I have the internet, bro. I fucking see YouTube. Trust me, everybody's out there. But it's like my wife says, she was a military brat, moved all over the country, even all over the world.
Yeah.
Her parents said exactly what my belief is from touring and seeing enough of this world, or this country, really. There's shitty people and dope people everywhere, and you're going to find your people.
Oh yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's when I go places, I find dope people.
Right.
Because I'm fucking dope.
Well, and I'm so blessed, at such a young age, to have already found my core people. I feel like a lot of people have to go through a good majority of their life to be able to find.
Oh, you mean fellow musicians and shit?
Well, even just
Creatives or whatever?
yes, they're my bandmates, but they are also my best friends, my family. I hold them to such a high respect in my life.
That's dope.
They're my people. I have never met anybody like them, and I just have so much
I met
love.
someone exactly like him. I told you that story before we started the podcast. I swear to God, I walked up to you were on the phone. I walked up to dude and I went, AJ. And he looked at me like I was an insane person. And I went, bro, it's Jared. And I'm looking at him like this. I go, it's Jared. And he goes, what are you talking about? And I go, Jared, dude, from the Tyrants. And he goes, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about. I was like, are you going to stand here with a straight face and tell me you're not AJ from
To
Vaudeville?
be fair, he would mess with somebody like that for sure.
So I go, are
That
you
would
going
be
to stand
funny.
here and tell me you're not AJ from Vaudeville? And he goes, dude, my name's Tristan. And I go, don't bullshit me, dude. You're embarrassing me in front of my friend right now. And he pulls out his ID and it says fucking Tristan. And it's
That's
not
brilliant.
AJ, dude. And I was like, so I tell
Your
the story.
doppelganger.
Yep, exactly. So I tell him, I'm like, this is uncanny. I find your Facebook page. I show him, and he's like, that's the weirdest thing I've ever seen in my life. And him and I went and bar hopped the rest of the night. We hung out the
That's
whole night. It was,
amazing.
it was a great story. It was a great story. So shout out to you, brother.
To
You've been a
Tristan.
fan of the
To
podcast.
Tristan.
He's been a fan of the podcast ever since.
That's
in fact,
awesome.
I think we got so drunk, Kate came and picked us up, and he crashed on the couch. I think he slept here.
Perfect.
And I was like,
Amazing.
someday AJ's going to come on this podcast. And this whole thing's coming full circle, dude.
We love it.
It finally happened. It finally happened. Because it had either been so long since I had seen you, and or at that time, the two of you looked identical. One of the two. It's one of the fucking two. But it was one of the weirdest stories. So you
I'm
say
just
you've never
glad-
met anybody like them. Well, I've met one person exactly like him. Yes! All right.
Perfect.
We own Gear Responsible.
Gear
Shit.
Responsible is spelt wrong.
Yeah, so now, okay.
What do you mean, Gary?
So now I
It
need
was
you.
I
SILBLE.
just did it in Google.
So I need you.
Unless I'm drunk,
Well,
I'm pretty sure
you're
that it's
drunk.
not spelt right.
Well, I want you to grab one. I want you to grab it with just one R, though.
Oh, fuck yeah. You get paid for it.
No, it's not. You can redo it. Or
Well, now
whatever.
you're
And-
giving
and,
the people more time to grab the name.
Right.
and do it with one R. So
One
so
R now.
GEAR.
Oh,
Two
you didn't
G's
do
though.
it.
2 G's though.
No,
No,
fucking
it's-
shut up. You're gonna confuse him. You're gonna confuse him.
Gear.
All right. While you're doing that, Murph, I want to play us a song because we're having so much
Is
fun.
it Sarah
Yeah,
McLachlan?
this is great.
We're-
Possession.
And we've come full circle. This ad break is
I'm
brought to
having
you
so
by.
much
Yeah,
fun.
but that way.
I want to get these songs played. Otherwise,
Yeah.
we're gonna forget.
That's
Oh,
fair,
for
that's
sure.
fair. I
Does
already
anybody
forgot.
got to go to the bathroom?
I'm
Because
good right
now's
now.
the perfect time to
Well,
do it.
damn it, I should have
Yeah,
waited.
what the hell? What the hell?
Yell
you're
at me
good?
next time.
All right, no,
Is
that's fine.
this how you want it spelled? Right here.
Yes.
GERESPONSIBLE.
Yeah, Gear Responsible. Yeah,
Search.
already purchased.
Right. Somebody took
So,
the
I
opportunity.
do have trolls. I do have trolls. They're all communists. but I'm telling you,
Naturally.
I fucking hate communists so bad. I'm turning into like a fucking post World War II Republican. When they were cool. Remember when Republicans were cool and
No.
badass? Yeah.
Oh no, we went political. Oh fuck.
Don't worry, we won't
Play
stay
the
here.
song, play the song, play the song.
We won't stay
Ad break,
here.
ad break, ad break.
We'll be back after this break.
Bye.
Did you get it, Steve? Murph?
What?
All right, I'm going to play the song while we figure out this
All right.
website thing.
Yes.
This is hilarious. Let me mute these mics.
Is she the one who can light up the room and lift off the gloom? I'm sure she does. Oh yeah, is she the one? Because you said you were done with my version of fun. Ha! Doesn't she bother you? It's not about her. It's not about me. It's all about everything one day. Is she the one? She'll give you what you need. And when she's down on bended knees, they will love her, won't they? It's not about her. It's not about me. It's all about everything you couldn't be. And when you've wasted all those sleepless nights, it's time to focus on closure, right? Whoa, whoa, who would you be? It's not about her. It's not about me. It's all about everything you shouldn't be. And when you wasted all those sleepless nights, it's time to focus on closure, right?
Except for the beginning.
All right, we're back.
Oh,
we're
in that
back.
case,
There's no audio.
fuck.
Oh.
We're back, Steve. We're back. I
Fuck.
unmuted
She
it.
meant from me. She knows how you are.
Oh.
Let's get that.
We're
shit
back.
off there.
Hi,
We're
Mom.
back. We're back.
Shout
we're
out to
back.
There we go.
Stacy for
We're back.
chastising me over the podcast.
We're good.
Can she chastise me too?
Do you really want her to? I don't think you do.
Well, I think you've been very classy and you've been very ladylike.
Thank you.
Unless you're
It's an
a
unpopular
weird ass.
opinion.
I was just gonna say, unless you're a weird ass like non. I have no problem with any of the gay or drag shit. It's the weird non-binary stuff that trips me out. Where they're like, "I'm not a lady," and I'm like, "Come on, dude."
It's confusing. Like
It's too confusing.
yeah, and
It's
like,
too much work.
I will definitely try, but it's like if I fuck up, I'm sorry. Like, but don't hate me for it.
Yeah. Here's the thing: is if I fuck up, it's because you made it confusing. No, I'm serious. Because
Yeah.
I have trans friends. Like, I have bona fide trans friends that I love deeply.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, if you've made a transition, like, I'm going to respect you.
Mm-hmm.
It's the non-binary shit where you're like, I'm in between. I'm like, you're not Prince. Shut the fuck up. like the people that are actually truly non-binary, they're true creatives. They're the most brilliant geniuses in the world that are truly, probably mentally ill. Not really like.
Aren't we all?
I do think all of us are
That's
mentally
why I
ill.
write good music.
I do
you
think
can't be
that's true.
sane and write music.
I can't. Yeah, no.
I do agree with this 100%. That's
If I
why
had no
most
issues,
Christian
my-
rock sucks.
Flyleaf,
Wait, they're
though.
sane?
Don't hate on
They're
Flyleaf,
dope.
man.
No,
That's
they're
my
dope.
favorite
They were
band
good.
of all
She
time.
was amazing. They were
Lacey
dope.
Sturm is amazing.
Yeah,
I
hey,
am
I'm-
madly in love
Trust
with her.
me, if I didn't agree, I would be like, she's all right. No, she was amazing,
Yeah.
and that band was dope, right? But that's why I said most Christian rock
Mm-hmm.
is so vanilla. It's because like you guys are really happy and your lives are like legitimately good.
Right.
Like that's not what makes good music.
Right.
What makes good music is like being tortured and like
Yeah. There's so
Like-
much beauty
like-
in the bleeding. You just have to tap into it, you know?
Yeah, exactly. So that's a good segue. So like, where do you try to find the muse? Or are you like one of those people that it just hits randomly?
It just happens.
I'm
There-
gonna write a song about a paper bag. No, I'm
Right.
serious. So like, are you that person, or are you like, are you
I-
only able to write music when you like get your heart broken or whatever the
you
case
know,
may be?
it's like even things that have happened to me, like stemming back from my childhood, like from then to now, like I still, sometimes I get in my emo feels and I'm like, I'm really sad today. Let's write about something that has happened to me in my past or something that happened a week ago. Like whatever it may be. Like there are certain nights where I'm just like, wow, this really sucks. I can't believe this happened. Let's write about it and see what comes out of it, Or like one of our songs that hasn't been released yet.
Hold on. Let's slow down though. So you say let's write a song and see what happens. Okay.
Yeah.
So what does that start with? Do you already have like a mood and like maybe a melody and then you write lyrics, or does it start with lyrics and then you try to find the melody to it? Is it a rhythm sometimes?
I don't really have a certain process to it quite yet. It's been different for literally every song that we've written. Like I have not had a set in stone formula for any song that we've done.
I think that's a good thing.
It's great.
As somebody who used to write vocals and lyrics and shit, like not having a formula is from that. As a bass player, this is probably not a good thing. As a guitar player and a drummer, it's probably not a good thing.
Yeah.
But I think as a vocalist, lyricist, melody writer, songwriter, that aspect, I think that's probably a good thing. Don't develop a habit. Don't develop a formula.
Like
let the muse strike you however it works.
Yeah, like with Seasons and Too Gray, I already had all of the instrumental stuff written, and then I listened to it and I thought of a melody and then I threw words over it.
Okay.
With Sleepless Nights that we just played, I was on the plane ride back home from Europe and I was just like, maybe I'm gonna try and write something. So I wrote a poem. And then when they sent me that demo file, I was listening through all of the stuff that they had on there. And I was like, wow, this actually might be able to mold together. And that's what ended up coming out of it. It's just really different for everything that we do.
And that's super cool. So you don't try to do anything.
No.
It's always, let's see what happens.
Right. I don't go into writing a song as this is going to be the set in stone thing that we use. Do you ever have an
idea? Like, hey, I want to do this. I want to write a song about this.
Yes. So like Hey Rose, I also wrote that on the plane ride back, and I had actually no. Hey Rose was actually really funny. I was in my car and I was riding I was going to the studio in Andover and I couldn't find my favorite pair of black sunglasses, so I grabbed my pair of pink sunglasses that were in my center console and I was like,
nice.
Rose colored glasses. That could be interesting. And I was like, hey, Rose, won't you take off those colored glasses?
So you did have that
And I was
melody.
like, whoa, hey.
What the fuck? Wow.
That was not Hey Rose. For
No,
the
it
record.
was not. But yeah,
They didn't send it to us either, so don't try to find it. Stop it! What is happening?
It's streaming now on all platforms.
Stop it.
But yeah, that chorus just kind of popped into my head, and I was like, maybe I should try and write some verses to this. Maybe I should do XYZ. And I ended up writing the entire song in my head. And I got to the studio and I was like, Dad, I have a melody and I have words. Let's try and do something behind this. So I sang it to him and he kind of was just on his acoustic.
So you have done that. Okay, cool.
Yeah. That was the only song that I've done that for.
But you're not a music theory person, so you didn't like, hey, play me chord progression, CGE, in the key of blah, blah, blah.
No.
Because I can't do that shit either. I'll be like,
fuck that.
Yeah, absolutely not.
I can't do that.
So, yeah,
but I do it by ear. So it's like, sometimes I can have that melody in my head, and then I got to strum the guitar and be like, what key am I in? Like, what the fucking chord am I supposed to play over? And like, so that most of the time I have to switch the vocal.
Yeah.
Like, but this is kind of why I'm asking this question. Was your vocal, was that pitch, was that key, was that all nailed?
Yes,
and
that's
then
what
he
we
found
used.
it? Or
Yes.
did you have to move your shit?
That's the beautiful thing about my father as a writer. He knows theory so well, but he is also such an ear person. He is so great at both ends of the spectrum. So I came in and I was like, okay.
Hold on. I gotta put context in this for the people that can't keep up with us, because we're very inside baseball right now.
Yeah.
Okay. There's a famous story that listeners should look up, because most people are going to listen to this after. Most people aren't here live, right?
Mm-hmm.
Hello from the past.
So if you guys want to understand what the fuck I'm trying to ask her and what she's answering is there's a famous interview of Anthony Kiedis writing what's that song? The City of Angel.
Under the Bridge.
Under the Bridge.
Yeah, there we go.
Lonely is it? Together.
Youngin'.
Yeah. Okay.
I'm just a girl.
He, same thing, doesn't know. So he had like all those parts written in different keys. And like just saying that to the band a cappella, and then with the producer and the whole band, they were like, okay, this one's got to come down a step or what. I don't actually know how to say this correctly. These are just concepts. Don't fucking quote me. But you're like, okay, this verse has got to get brought down a whole step. This one you're singing in the key of E. We're going to do it in the key of G or vice versa or whatever the fuck key that song's in. I don't know. But that's the thing is like, but he wrote all of the vocal melodies. But what you're saying is you came up with your thing and Wally just fucking figured it out and made it happen underneath it.
He is so good about listening and being
That's
like,
a huge deal.
oh, it's insane.
So not only are you on key in a key
right.
and consistent throughout that, but
He
then
can
he's
find it
able
just
to
right away. It's
that's
actually
impressive.
ridiculous.
That's super impressive.
My father is so talented, it actually blows my mind.
Horrible person, but goddamn, is he fucking talented?
He
Good kisser, though.
Really. You know what? That is one of the things that I never want to know and I never want to hear. AJ. Never.
Good kisser, though.
La la la.
Oh my god,
okay,
that's so funny.
that is not.
Gay.
I have had so many. You wouldn't believe the amount of women like at Skywine shows
Goddamn, that
or
was
even
funny,
just
dude.
the solo shows that my dad has played. There has been chicks that have came up to me as like little 14-year-old Josie being like,
Do you need a stepmom?
your dad is so hot. What am I supposed to say to that? Like, yeah, he's a freaking smoke show. No, that's weird. Don't come up to me and be like, your dad is smoking hot. I just want you to know that. Gross.
Well, you
should have
can
punched
flip
her.
the script though on
You
that
should have
one
punched
time
her in
when
the
that.
pussy. That's what I would have done.
Guys,
There's been more than one person that has
I
done
bet.
that to me. It's ridiculous. I'm like, I'm his child. I don't want to hear about
That
it.
is super weird.
It's
That's
so
what I love though.
weird.
Is there's that one story where
But drunk bitches
somebody
be
came
drunk
up.
bitches. There's nothing
somebody
you can
came
do
up
to
to
stop them
Wally
from
one
being
time
drunk
though
bitches.
and said something
Oh
about
my
her being
gosh.
hot, and Wally was like, "That's my daughter."
We were playing.
Oh, I think I was there.
We were playing a Skywine show.
it you?
I want to. I want to say it was at.
That's a line. We're not crossing that one.
I want to say it was at Route 47. I could be totally wrong though.
No, I think it was at Doghouse because I
it?
think I was
It may
at
have
the show.
been.
Tell the story from your perspective.
So it was at a Skywine
This
show. I
also might
didn't
have
hear
happened more
about
than
this
once.
till like 2 years after it happened. But my dad was over at the merge booth and I was off over yonder. And this guy, probably wasted, waddles up to the merge booth and was like, "Who's that chick in your band? She's got awesome tits." And my
How
dad,
old were you?
I was probably 15.
Oh my god.
And my dad goes, well, that's my daughter. And the guy just instant jaw drop, buys all of our merch. Every piece of merch that we had, bought it. Got it.
Is that like reverse sexual exploitation? like I got you, and now I'm gonna make money off of
Oh,
you.
yeah, for sure.
Like you're gonna spend a bunch of money, or
I got
else.
hoard out so Skywine could make money.
That's so crazy. Yeah. So like, does that happen a lot to you? Like. So okay, I'm gonna set this up and I'm gonna try to make this as least creepy as possible. Okay, because
a pretty face, girl.
well, because here's the thing, and I'm gonna set this up in 2 steps. Okay, so the first step is I've got like a viral comment on a video going on the internet right now. Have you ever seen a viral comment?
Yeah, like with all the likes and stuff.
Yeah, and
Yeah.
like that's what the whole video becomes is starts. Okay, I did that on one.
That's
and
awesome.
It's Anne Hathaway being asked questions about like, so what diet plan did you have to do to get into this role? Like, did you have to lose a bunch of weight, or did you have to work out a lot to like become this version of Catwoman? And another one, it's like, oh, I heard you had a weird, uncomfortable wardrobe malfunction. Was like that embarrassing, or did people rally around you? And like all the comments are just like women just being like, oh, it's so inappropriate. Like she totally embarrassed these guys. And I'm like, here's the thing. Women always get mad at these questions not realizing that men ask each other these exact same questions.
Right.
Like, you don't want equality. You just want all the control over the situation, right?
I feel
Which
like-
is like not a controversial thing to say, because
No.
it's 100% true. Because I can bring up all the superheroes: Chris Hemsworth, Chris Evans, fucking Christian
Yeah.
Bale. From even when he went to The Machinist and had to lose all that weight. Adrian Brody, when he did the Pianist.
Yeah, Pianist.
And he talked about, he goes, what I discovered was the hunger and what that will do to you as a human being, and like what you're willing to contemplate over being that level of hungry.
Yeah.
But then you ask the same question to a woman, she's like, that's inappropriate.
I think
Well,
that's so dumb. Like, that's
It is
such a
dumb.
dumb
It's-
reaction.
it's
and it's
so
such a
dumb.
stereotyped, like, reaction. I consider myself a very open and honest person. Like, if you ask me a question, I'm going to answer it straightforward, and I'm going to tell you my thoughts and feelings and whatever on it.
Well, and when we ask you these as men, even if it comes across as pervy or weird or inappropriate, here's
9
the
times
thing,
out of 10, it's not
That's
sup-
just
it's
that
not
guy.
meant. Yeah.
That's just that guy, and he's just not doing it the right way.
Right.
The
Delivery is
question-
everything.
We're trying to ask the same questions that we would a dude in your exact position.
Right.
So this is what I'm asking. So here's the second step to the setup.
Mm-hmm.
So comedians talk about this, and musicians, we all know this, right? As men, we go on the road, and a lot of us go on the road to get laid, right? Okay? Like, it's all about getting bitches. It's all about getting bitches. Even as gay dudes, it's all about getting bitches, right?
I used to use Grindr just to get people to come out to the
Yes,
show.
you did.
Bodied, right?
I just go next
Bodied.
door.
Bodied, right? Okay, so you just bodied the argument. Totally facts. Dead. Here's the point. I've heard this in the comedic world,
Yeah.
where comedians, same thing. But then female comedians, and they're like, dude, you got to understand this. Road dick is the worst. Meaning, and here's what it is. Here's what they're describing, is as a woman going on the road, we don't get beautiful men coming up trying to seduce us. We get really gross, abrasive men coming up and saying horribly inappropriate things, thinking that because we're a comedian, that's what's going to work with us. So what I'm curious is like, do you already deal with that shit, even just on the local scene? Like whether you're single or you have a boyfriend, like, is that something that like is already a problem, where you get like weird creepos coming up trying to compliment you, trying to like I complimented your nails. I was like, you look
Yeah.
beautiful. You're very ladylike. You look classy as fuck. You look beautiful tonight, right?
Thank
I'm
you.
not fucking hitting on you.
No.
I'm just complimenting you.
Right. It's all, to
Like
me.
that's, do you see what I'm asking?
Yes.
So that's why I was like, I don't know how to ask this, so I'm
No.
gonna set it up
Yeah.
1,400 times.
You fucking creep. We're done here.
You piece
So,
of shit.
right.
This is the line. We crossed it.
No, for me, delivery
Makes sense
is
though, right? Like,
everything.
everybody's
I have
following-
grown up with the mentality of delivery is everything. Like, by you being like, your nails look great, you look beautiful. I don't consider that like a creepy thing, but there has been, like, even back when I was still in high school, because I was still doing things with Skywind and whatnot, there has been certain guys that have been really creepy and been like kind of borderline, like kind of pedo kind of shit. And I'm like, this is not okay. This is weird. But if somebody is like, you look really great tonight, I'd be like, thank you. That's really sweet. It's all about how you say it. Like, there's
enough. Yep.
a certain drummer from a semi-local band.
I've heard this my whole life. Like, I've gotten away with saying some crazy shit to women, and they're like, it's the way you say it. Like,
Yeah.
when you say, like, I'll be like,
Yeah,
bitch,
like,
what?
you're good.
And people are like, how did you call her a bitch? And I was like, I didn't call her a bitch. I said, bitch, what? like, and she was cool with it. And like,
Yeah.
people are like, their mind is blown. They're like, how do you talk to women like
It's
that? I'm like,
so
because I'm not
delivery.
disrespecting
Yeah,
them.
don't-
Everything
be
is
a-
You're
delivery
100%
based.
correct. You're 100%
And
right.
that is something my dad has preached to me till he is blue in the face. Like, you just need to deliver things correctly and people will understand. But like, I
He was
had
just talking about your singing.
Oh. Well, I guess I misread that then. But no, there's this guy he hasn't messaged me in a while, but like every once in a while at like 2-3 in the morning, if I was still awake and like active on Facebook, he would message me and be like, what's keeping you up so late? Like, gross.
Oh, because he sees your little green dot that you're
that's
online.
freaking weird. Don't do that. That is not the way to get in my pants. Like, no, that's bizarre. Like,
what if
don't
he was,
do that.
What if he was super hot and your age, and like you kind of were into him?
No, it's still weird.
Is it okay?
Don't like.
I've been married for a long time, so I don't even know.
That is not,
you know
like-
what I mean? Like I
Your
don't even
game's
know.
way off.
I don't even know what like.
I tell you what,
anything
like,
should be anymore. Like,
Everybody's different, but for me, like, that is so not the way to my heart. Like,
so like if he's 23, body of Adonis, you're into him already, and if he sends you that, you're still like you get the ick.
kind of,
Yeah. Okay. That's
like,
what I'm asking.
I'm
That's what I'm
not
asking.
somebody
So
who's just gonna like.
let it be known, fellas. Don't do that.
No, I'm not the kind of girl
Don't
that's
do it
gonna
that
be
way.
like,
DMs are
don't
closed.
message me at 3 a.m. and be like, what's keeping you up? Like, that's weird. That's so
Especially the way you're saying
weird.
it. Like,
Well, and
what's
that's how I
keeping you
play it in
up?
my head. Like, you're trying to be gross
I
and be
always
like,
say
want to
that,
come
too.
over? I'm not gonna come to your house at 3 a.m. to go do whatever it is you want to do to me. No, I am too classy for that.
He was cooking a nice dinner.
At 3 a.m.
Sure.
You're the only person that cooks nice dinners at 3 a.m.
I've been married for 30 years. I don't know anything but creepy at this point.
But no, like, I am very much like, I'm not that kind of girl. That works for some people, and I'm not going to hate on anybody for the way that they choose to live
That
their
was a
life.
great Can we give a shout out to Murph? That was a great joke.
That
dude.
was.
a
That
great
was beautiful.
Joke, dude. Shout out to Murph. Murph
September
always
10th,
ends up being the
30
MVP
years.
of every podcast.
He made it funny.
Somehow Murph ends up MVPing every fucking podcast that he's here. That's why he's only missed one. And I was just like, dude,
It's not the same.
You can't do that, dude.
Need the Murph.
You can't do that.
But yeah, I just
That's awesome.
Like, I am not personally, and everybody's different. Like I said, I'm not gonna hate on anybody's lifestyle because I
You
am
know other female musicians though as well, right?
not really.
I mean, like you don't know the rumors. There's also the,
I know of
but you're
other
not, like, tight with
but
them
I'm
yet?
not. No, not yet.
you haven't
like,
been around long enough
Like
yet.
for 400 Fest, me, Steph, and one other girl are the only girls in that entire festival, which is fine. But like Steph is the only other girl in the music industry that I'm tight with. Otherwise, I have not really conversed. Like, yeah, I'm friends with them on Facebook. That doesn't mean anything.
I guess the reason I asked this though is because of the story you kind of before we even did the song, it kind of came up, you know, like fucking there's people in the scene, like weird shit at the fucking merch booth and shit.
Yeah.
And it just makes me wonder about that. Like, yeah, like if I have a daughter, like, fuck, man, what would that
Well,
be
right.
like? Like, that's got to be so strange because.
Well, my dad is so protective over me too. Like, if somebody says something or does something wrong, and I make one phone call to him, like, it's over. Like, they're toast.
Yeah, that's got to be so fucking
Right.
like interesting from the other perspective. Because being a dude in the scene, whether you're straight or gay, I mean, you're a dude. Like, you're kind of wanting to be hit on. Like, even as a married dude, like not me personally, but I know this from my buddies.
Mm-hmm.
Like being hit on at shows, they're like, I still got it. Okay. like they just go home and bang their wife, but they're like, it gives them that confidence to be like, okay, I may be balding, but like I'm still a badass.
I mean,
You know, like, no, I'm serious. I know that sounds like a ridiculous joke,
No,
but
I
I'm being
get it. Yeah.
100% sincere right
I
now.
mean, you're
like,
in a band. You want to be like attractive and like,
Yeah.
be, like, you know.
when some of us
pined
are
after,
accountants or machinists or fucking bookkeepers or
Yeah.
whatever boring ass job we have, and like, it's interesting because even at 25. You can attest to this as being a dude. Like, even at 25, I felt that way at times. Like,
Yeah.
I was a bill collector. And I was in this killer metal band that was, like, literally selling out small clubs. And I was, like, a fucking legitimate rock star. And then I got to go to work every day and play this act in a set of khakis and a button-up tee. And I'm like, you guys don't understand that. I'm the coolest person in this room. And, like, all of you wish you could be me. And then,
Right.
and then through the years, as they all came to shows and they were like, dude, they would, like, literally... This is where I learned this phrase is they were like, we're living vicariously through you.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, what does that mean? And they're like, we're married, our lives suck. And you're a rock star. And like, we get to like relive that part of our lives by hanging out with you in your
Right.
band. And I was 25,
Yeah.
you know, and it was just mind blowing. So I wonder about that things like, do you feel the same way? And like,
Honestly,
do you like being hit on, or is it like make you uncomfortable? Is it more because dudes? I've attested. Kid Rock said this, and I hate agreeing with this guy, but it's true. It's true, and I will make this argument, and I can't say this is true for women, but any dude, I will take whatever your motivation is, and I'll boil it down to one of these three things. You're either doing it for money, fame, or pussy. Okay, bottom line. Even if you're gay, right? Like it's still pussy.
Bussy.
It's pussy. Oh, you know that country song. Oh, it's so uncomfortable. It's so uncomfortable. Oh, it makes me so uncomfortable. But
no, I
anyways,
mean, I personally
does that even does that even comprehend? Is there any way you can relate to that at all?
Like, for me, I absolutely do not mind getting hit on at all. Like, fine, as long as you're not
makes you feel classy and hot.
If you're not being creepy and weird about
I gotta
it,
go to the bathroom. Keep talking.
Absolutely. Like, if you have guts enough to come up to me and be like, I think you're
cover
beautiful.
For me while I go to the bathroom.
If you have guts enough to come up to me and be like, I think you're beautiful. I think you're set rocked. I think you're a great singer. Props to you, man, because it is hard to go up to people and be like, you're pretty awesome, you know? Like, it's...
Well, and confidence is like a wonderful thing.
Confidence is beautiful. Yeah. I think that is so attractive in a person. Like, if you have enough confidence to come up and talk to me after I just got done being up on stage, hell yeah. Like, you get instant brownie points for that, as long as you're not being weird.
Right.
Like, don't come up to me and be like, you have really nice tits. I don't want to hear that. Don't tell me that. Don't lie to me.
I'm going to say that every time we get off stage now.
It's different when it's you. But, like, no, like, if you're going to be cool and you're going to be respectful about it, hell yeah. I think that's awesome. I think that's super cool of you. Even if feelings aren't reciprocated in that way. If you're going to come up to me and be like, let's go in the back and bang. No, that is not a thing for me whatsoever. I am not that kind of person. No, that's a no for me. That's an ick. That's an instant ick and an instant fail.
So no tour dick.
No!
Oh.
Just kidding.
Well, about that.
Yeah.
Love it.
But yeah, that's just... I mean, everybody's different, and I respect everybody's opinion on however they feel about that, like, as a female musician, but that's just, like, my 2 cents. Like, don't be creepy and don't be weird. If you want to hit on me, go for it, but don't be a weirdo about it.
I remember why I brought this up.
And don't expect anything.
I remember why I brought this up.
No.
I think that's the worst.
Absolutely. Don't expect for me to be like, let's go to the back. No, I'm
so
not
I
going to do that.
remember why I brought this up, because almost all of the female musicians I know are gay. And so I've been there when it happens, and they go, dude, I'm gay. And then the dudes just go, oh, fuck, okay. And then they just literally move on with their night. Or they go, oh, fuck, that sucks. And they just move on with their night. It's like, and every single time the chicks are like, God, fucking still somehow feels good.
Yeah.
Like, they're not even attracted to these dudes, but like, they just go, dude, I'm gay. And then it moves on so fast. That's why that's why I asked this, because you mentioned the creepy thing with the dad thing.
Right.
And so I was like, okay. That's right. Okay, so like, how do straight women feel about this? Because dudes, it doesn't matter if you're gay or you're straight. Like, we're dudes. We all think the same.
And that's what I was saying when you
sadly,
were gone.
We do, bro. You have to admit that.
No, 100%.
Like,
yeah.
Gay or straight, we're still fucking dudes. Like,
if you,
period. End of story.
Yeah, I was telling AJ, like, when
I
you
don't
were
think that's true with
gone,
women,
like, confidence is a lot. Like, that is instant. Like, I think having enough confidence to come up to me, like, after I get off stage and be like, you're beautiful, your set was amazing, like, you have an amazing voice, everything. Like, I think that's super attractive, being confident enough to come up to me and say that to me. But if you're going to be weird and be like, you have really nice boobs, like that guy said to my dad, like, that's
a cringe
weird.
moment.
Don't be creepy. Like, have respect for me, have respect for yourself.
And why would you walk up to that band's merch table and say that? Like,
Right.
even if that's not
and
your
you
dad, like,
couldn't
that's
have,
somebody.
but you couldn't have picked a worse person to say that to.
See, I want to ask that guy though, like, has that ever actually worked?
Right. Like,
But
if
that's what I'm
somebody
saying.
came
I
up
don't
to
think he was trying to
you,
make it work. I think he's dumb enough to just think, "Oh, I'm gonna walk up. I was
Right.
blown away by this chick." Right? He goes, let's steel man this. Right? Okay. So let's pretend we're that guy. Let's try. I know it's hard, but let's
Gross.
try.
I don't want to be that guy.
So you're blown away. You're drunk. You don't realize she's that young because you don't look as young as you are.
No. Nobody
And you
ever
don't
guesses my
And
age.
you don't carry yourself that way. Like
No.
like you're a woman. You're a very classy lady.
Thank you.
So, and even when you were a child, I was like, God, she's so mature, right? And
I was raised very well.
Well, and you- and you-
hats off to my parents because if
Well,
I
and not
was
only
raised
that,
any
but-
differently, it would be a whole different scenario, I
But
believe.
Not only that, but don't take away from your own credit of how you chose to carry yourself. Like I'm talking literal body language, poise, like that. Yeah, okay, we can give credit to the environment and experience and all that, but like you chose to become a certain type of person. We all do it. We all sit in
Right.
the mirror at 10, 12 years old and go, I want to be this type of person. And then
Who
you
the
try to
fuck
do that. Right? Exactly. We all do that. And half of us continue that till we're 40. Right? So what I'm saying though is like, fuck.
You lost the plot.
No, I'm trying to. I'm trying to figure out how to say it the best way. Like, I don't know. It'll come to me in a minute.
Yeah.
I'll figure out the right way to say this in a minute because I'm trying to get better at this. Right. I don't want to rant for the sake of ranting just to fill airspace and
Yeah.
try to be the guy that's talking. Like I want to
Respect.
try to make a fucking point. I'm trying to get better at this. So give me a minute.
You're still striving for
Gosh,
perfection.
you should hear us sometimes, though. We just ramble and
But
ramble.
let me do a subplot here. Because part of this compliment train I'm on with you right now
I appreciate
is
it.
also your on-stage charisma. There's so many female vocalists that and I'm really seeing it in the new like weird hip hop country hip hop scene where these chicks
Hip-hop.
are straight up like literally like acting like dudes, like grabbing their crotch, like their fucking manners.
think
They're
that's
like
so
just
gross.
It's so cringy.
It's
Like,
so gross.
And some of these girls are fucking drop dead gorgeous. And so it's like it's almost like women. And this is just my perspective. I want to hear your thoughts on this,
Right.
but this is what it seems like to me: is women are somehow like when it comes to music entertainment as front ladies, they feel compelled to become one of two things. They either go like the like I'm gonna dance and I'm gonna date myself with the Britney Spears and Christina Aguilera references, but right, whether it's Beyonce or now it's fucking, I guess you would say Nicki Minaj, Megan Thee Stallion, or you have to go with like is it Lacey Hale from Hailstorm? Lizzie Hale.
Yeah.
Where it's like, "Blah," and they're like, they're
Yeah.
kind of like dudes all of a sudden, and it's like, and I'm not talking about sexuality here. I'm talking about stage presence, where
Yeah.
it's like the classy chick
That's
who can just get up there and just be a badass. Like, this is the compliment I gave your dad because I didn't have time to get to you when we left. Me and my wife came to your guys' first show at
Aw.
Doghouse. I didn't have time to talk
That's
to you,
awesome.
but I made sure
Well,
to
thanks
talk
for
to your
coming,
dad.
love.
And I was like, you guys were great. You have the potential to be elite, right? Your stage presence, you hit every note. You weren't sharp or flat. Like I was legitimately more than impressed. It would be my mind was blown. Like,
Thank
and
you.
I always knew you were dope, but the way you came out on stage, it was like, this is like her 800th show. It wasn't your first show, and I'll never accept that was your first show.
Yeah.
Because it wasn't, and it showed, and it was just super impressive because you were so like authentic and genuine, and like
Thank you.
you weren't trying to be anybody else, and it was just so like, wow, like,
And that's exactly
she
what
did
I
this
want
at
people
such a
to
young
see.
age.
And
You did it, and I hope everybody figures that out
Right.
fast.
Well, and that like
I
liked,
just don't want to see you be 35 and still trying to show people. I want this to like work.
Yes.
And I want you to be like
absolutely.
28 years old, and I want you to be selling out the Target Center, and like I want to be able to fucking like
I
make
would
the phone
love
call and be
that.
like, "Hey, me and my wife want to actually come. And you're like, "Hey, do you want tickets?" And I'm like, "Yeah, fuck yeah." And then
Yeah.
We're doing a
Like-
podcast backstage.
okay, cool. I actually
right.
have that idea. It's going to be called
Absolutely.
Backstage with Jared Singer Live.
There
I
you go.
love it. But yeah, no, I think trying to be something
I
you're
want to do that at local venues too.
trying to be something you're not when you're on stage, people see right through it. I am
But
very
how did you find it? How did you figure this out at such an early?
Honestly-
I don't want to say young age. That's a dumb thing to say
Mm.
because you could start performing at 8, like you
Sure,
did, right?
but you still gotta
the
find
age is
yourself, yeah.
irrelevant. It's
right.
you're still so new in doing what you're doing. It took I think it was like I think it was like 23, 24 before I figured it out, which is, I mean, you're basically right there.
Right.
You're a couple years younger, but then again, I refigured it out as a drummer a couple years later, and it wasn't really until I was almost 30 years old where I was like, oh, this is who I actually am, a musician. Like, I now have a sound, and it doesn't matter what instrument I get on. Like, if I just make my music, I have a sound now. I can change that if I join your band, or if I join your band,
Yeah.
and it's country versus electronic, I can do that. But if you go like, Jared, we want you to write the music and you're going to sing and you're just going to play whatever fucking bass works, right? I'm going to have a sound now. Like, I can't get away from that unless I
Right.
join somebody else's deal.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
How the fuck did you find that from a stage presence perspective?
You
Because we
know,
already covered the music thing. How the fuck did you find that so early? Because even when you were on stage, you were backing. You
Yeah.
weren't the front woman. Like, where the fuck does that come from at your age?
honestly, this is going to sound cheesy and this is probably going to sound dumb, but I just feel it.
No, that makes sense.
You
to
know,
me, at
that's
least.
something that when you know, like, I know in my heart, in my soul, in every fiber of my being that this is exactly what I'm supposed to be doing with my life. I am so genuinely confident in that and so passionate about it that I just feel it, you know, and that's what people enjoy about our live performances. Like, even though we've just had 2, people can see how genuine and how authentic and how we're all feeling it. It's so beautiful and it's on such a spiritual level. I black out when I'm on stage. I don't know anything that I'm really doing. Like, we start the set and I'm there, and then all of a sudden we're at the very end and I'm like, whoa, what just happened? You know, I finally realized, like, wow, I've been on stage. That's God taking over for me. Genuinely.
Do
Like,
you believe in God?
absolutely I do.
Do you believe in a God, sinner?
Wow!
I'm just fucking around.
I believe there's something out there. I don't know what to call it though.
Right on.
But
That's cool.
anyway.
Yeah, I just
you could have said anything, and I would have said right on. It
It's-
doesn't matter.
But
I don't
this-
care
the
whether people.
spaghetti
I
monster
also
thing.
believe in God. I just don't judge people if they don't.
No,
I'm
ab-
totally-
and that's
if
what
somebody
you're-
doesn't believe in God, I'm like, yeah, I get it.
you're supposed to
As
love
long as-
everybody.
as long as
I'm actually a little
You're not
jealous.
supposed to judge
Side-
anybody.
Sidebar: do you ever get jealous of people that don't believe in God? Because I
No.
kind of wish I didn't. Because sometimes the guilt of like
Well, sure.
the expectation. I'm
but
like, God, I
there's-
wish I didn't believe in God because like I wouldn't care about feeling this way or thinking this
but
way.
there's always beauty in that, you know, because you know that you know better, but he's gonna love you anyways, no matter what you do.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
And like
You
that
ever
was
get jealous of that?
When I was younger, I would, but now I think
You
just
don't
being
give
a
a
good, I think being a good person is a good person, and again, like, no disrespect to anybody that believes in religion and all that stuff. As long
Absolutely.
as you don't fucking, shove it in my face and be like, ha, here's this.
Yeah, yeah.
that's
yeah.
not
like-
what you're supposed to do.
Right,
But
right,
a lot,
exactly,
a lot of
exactly.
people do, which is unfortunate. But like, I just believe a good person is a good person, and if you're being a good person, then who the fuck cares?
Exactly.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree
That's
with
my
that,
thoughts on it.
especially when we're talking about just simply living together. That's
Right.
that's the only thing anybody should practice is exactly what you said. If we're talking about getting into heaven, might be a different argument, but that's not up to me or the government or anybody else in society, and we certainly shouldn't be shaming people for not thinking alike.
I think the
like,
biggest-
as long as we treat each other the way you just described,
Yes.
everything's fine.
I think
Right.
the biggest problem.
I think that's why Minneapolis gets along so well, is because even the religious people here
Yeah.
are pretty left. You know, like, do people think I'm a right winger now? I'm pretty left. Like, I'm actually super left, but no one believes it because they're like, ah.
I think people just don't know how to love each other unconditionally anymore. I think that is the absolute biggest problem. I don't care who you are. I don't care what you've come from. I don't care what you've done. I'm going to love you anyways.
Yeah.
And I
that's
think that
amazing.
is the biggest
And that's how it should
issue
be.
is people
Or at least I'm going to try to love you.
Right.
everybody has inner demons and everybody has things that they've done that they're ashamed of and that they're upset about, but you have to look past that and you have to learn how to love the person who is underneath all of these broken issues.
If we can start from there on every interaction, I don't think we have any problems. I think the problem is that people don't start from that purpose. Because
No.
here's the deal: there are evil people.
Absolutely.
There are bad guys. There's
but you
serial
have to
killers.
learn to
there's
love
rapists.
them anyways.
I don't know if I need to love rapists and pedophiles, but we should still treat them with love and compassion. Like, I'm not into chemical castration or putting people to the death
Right.
or hanging
No,
people
not
or
at
any
all.
of that shit. Like, it's just not a vibe I want to be a part of.
There's
but
always
I'm
an
glad you brought that up.
opportunity for forgiveness.
I'm glad that you're willing to admit that too, because also being a musician publicly and admitting you believe in God, like, immediately used to put you on like the wrong,
Right.
you know what I mean? Like, oh, they're on that team.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And
It's like, dude, fuck
personally,
off. Like, get outta
I
here
don't
with that
care
bullshit,
what
dude.
anybody else believes. I know what I believe. And that's a personal thing. I'm not going to judge people for believing in God or not believing in God. That is all up to them.
Right.
Everybody is on their own path, you know? And I believe that in this project and in this life and everything that I'm doing is all because God is like, yep, you're going to be in the music industry and you are going to do all these things and you are going to spread love to people and
That's
help
super
people
cool.
see all the beauty in the bleeding.
Do you have like a set goal? Like, do you have something in your head where you're like, if I do this, I will feel like I achieved something? So I'll give you an example. For me, what happened to me was, like, I did not have a good upbringing. Life was really, really rough, and it was wild. So I was like, well, this Metallica band's really cool, and that James Hetfield dude seems super cool. So I'm gonna try to like ignore all this bullshit, and I'm gonna try to like be a musician because I think this is like healthier for me, right? And so I was inspired to like literally leave a life of crime. It sounds like a cheesy comment, but dude, I was already doing petty crime. I was already fucking on probation, going to boarding school. Like, it was bad. I was not in a good place. And I literally sat there in the window, and I looked out the window, and I was holding my guitar, just playing some shitty Metallica riff. And I was like, dude, fuck this. This sucks. Like, when I finally get out of here, like, I'm not doing this anymore. I'm going to focus on music. And so I say, with the same cliche we talked about earlier, music saved my life, right?
Absolutely.
And so when I started doing it young, 15, 16, I was like, well, what is my real goal here? And I was like, well, yeah, I want to make a living doing this. That was definitely something part of it. So to go back to like, it's money, fame, or pussy, right? Like, I can definitely boil it down to, because you're doing music because you love it, but you've pursued it as a career for something else,
Sure.
right? And it's either money, fame, or you're trying to get laid. Like, it just,
that's none of it for me.
well, and I want to get back to this with the
Yeah.
women, but for me, and so I said, okay, other than I want to make a living doing this, so for me, it was money, right? Like, and a little bit of fame, but the fame was more like, I want Metallica. I want to open for Metallica, and like James Hetfield comes after a set. I was like 14 when I wrote this down, and I was like, James Hetfield comes up after a set, and he's like, "You guys rock," and I was like, "That's it. Like, that's the peak," because there was no other band better than Metallica when I was 14.
Right.
Like, that's just how my brain was working at the time, right?
Naturally.
So I'm like, okay, and then I want to make a living doing this. I like want to like have a good quality life, like get married, have kids, be able to put them through college, whatever.
Yeah.
Right? So for me, it was money and fame.
Yeah.
Right? It wasn't really about pussy, right? Even though I was a very horny kid, I was so horny. I was so fucking horny, but it really wasn't
Typical
about that.
dude.
Right, exactly. It's a young dude, like a teenage dude, right? But that really wasn't the motivation. But the actual goal I set was, I actually just want to inspire one other kid like I was inspired. So I want to just have
Absolutely.
one kid be like, I started my music career because of you. Ironically, that happened like 3 times as a local musician.
That's dope.
And those bands, some of them went on to do cool
That's
shit.
amazing.
Right? So, yeah, it was amazing. And it was like, okay, well, now I did that. I did my actual goal. And it kind of fucked me up a little bit, too, because I was
Right.
like, well, now what?
Right,
Yeah.
Right?
What's next after that? Like,
So, what was it for you? Or did you, or have you even thought about, like, this? What is there a goal for you?
My goal, which is a pretty broad goal, I don't care if I just touch the heart of one person, 1,000 people, 1,000,000 people. You know, at the end of the day, I just want to spread love to anybody and everybody. I want people to know that they're not alone in whatever struggles
Steve,
that
will
they're
you grab me a
going
beer,
through, which is why, like, all of the songs that I write, I make sure that they are about personal experiences, and you can feel the emotion, you can feel the rawness in everything that I sing, every word that I write. I want people to know that they're loved at the end of the day, because I think love is what shapes everything in this world.
That's super dope.
That's what's super important to me.
So do you have any songs about hate?
No, I do not. I don't hate anybody. I
My
don't
homie
hate anything.
Ezra is got this hate in any form is wrong thing. And when he came on the podcast, I was like, yeah, but what if they're like a division rival and I just really don't like him? I couldn't get him to give on it.
Yeah.
No, you guys are so positive and uplifting, man. It's like it's a pleasure to be around you
And
guys, for
that's
real.
my goal. I
It's
just
so
like
nice.
I don't want to be one of those bands that are like, we don't want to meet any of our fans. We're going to do whatever we want to do.
Oh, no,
and
fuck that.
No, I want to meet everybody who likes our music. I want to meet everybody who loves us and is intrigued enough to come see our show and come meet us. Like, I think that's so amazing. And like, props to everybody that showed up at our Doghouse show. Like, I have so much
You guys
love.
had a really good crowd for
Yes,
your debut show.
we had
like,
a great crowd. I couldn't believe it.
See, I want to go the opposite direction of this. So I want to do these burner shows I told you about.
Yeah.
I'm going to do these burner shows because I'm like,
Well, it's good
I
to get
wanna-
the jitters out and to like be able to just
and we're
play
old.
initial.
you know,
And-
we're
yeah.
old. Like, we haven't done this in a while. And yeah, we might be good. Maybe we might even be great. Who knows? We might even be great already because
Right.
we put ourselves under so much pressure. You know, pressure makes diamonds type shit, right?
Absolutely.
But I also know how easy it is to overestimate what you're actually sounding like.
Yeah.
I know exactly how easy it is to get everything perfect in your rehearsal space and then go play your first show and everything goes wrong.
Yeah.
Something goes wrong for every member, meaning that's my definition of everything goes wrong. Like every member has one serious
I
thing go
mean,
wrong.
it's not a rock show until something's fucked up.
Absolutely.
But when you have that motherfucker honed, and you know this from being in vaudeville, like you start eliminating possibilities, like you start simplifying setups because everybody loves to do this and to do that and have lights and a click and backing tracks and all this, but a couple of those things go down and your whole show is fucked, right? So like when you play long enough together and you're really fucking good and you're really tight and you have that chemistry, like you guys, your rhythm section with you and John and fucking even Chris, technically he's a string player, right, as a guitar player, but it's still at the end of the day the long-term experience you have together.
Sure.
Man,
You can really
that
feel the love in the room.
cannot be replicated, though, is what I'm getting at. So, like, you can do all the rehearsals, but it takes an immense resume of shows
Yeah.
to really actually do this. You get a cheat code because of the way you were brought up.
Nepo baby.
You get not even Nepo baby. Not even
I
Nepo
make a
baby.
joke about
It's
that
a good
all the
joke.
time.
It's a good joke, and I'm glad you're
It's a
humble
fun
about it
bit.
because it's a thing, and it's
It is.
It's not
If I
real.
wasn't a
It's not
Nepo
real.
baby, I wouldn't have them with me.
It's not real though because you earned everything you've gotten. You got opportunities because of the Nepo, but
Right.
but you still had to do the job.
I do work. I
You got a
try and
cheat
work
code.
hard.
You got a cheat code because she didn't just go like, let's grab this guy from vaudeville and this guy from this band and this. She was like, give me 3/5 of vaudeville, bro. So you guys had so much
To be
chemistry
fair,
coming
I
into
would
this.
take Gummy and Timmy in a freaking
I'm
heartbeat,
not-
and
I'm
I
not-
love every
I wanna
single
make
member
sure-
of that band.
What I'm saying, I'm not discounting anything you're doing. I'm actually doing the opposite.
No,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Is what I'm saying is you did do the work. So it's a cheat code because this is your first band. Right? Heavy air quotes on that, right?
Yeah.
Like this is you coming back and doing your first real active stable thing since vaudeville.
Right.
Heavy air quotes, right? Like no, the work has been being done for
Yeah.
a long period of time. And
Yeah.
I think that should be a very inspirational would be a little pretentious, but motivational would be a better
Absolutely.
word. Like do the work and win. So, okay, this is the way to say it. My history teacher in high school said there's no such thing as luck. It's preparation for opportunity.
Of course.
That is bullshit if you consider things like bad luck and like drive-by shootings and things like that, right?
I'd say that's bad luck.
But when it comes to good luck, there's a huge amount of outside of like the lottery, which he would make the argument, well, you still had to be prepared to buy the ticket. Fair enough. Fair enough.
I
Fair
don't have
enough.
$2 right now. I'm sorry.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So you're not prepared for the opportunity to win. You see what I'm saying? That's what he would do, right? But what I'm getting at is like he's kind of right, dude, because you guys have been putting in the work. And I think you
Yes.
guys have a really legitimate project. I was blown away that you were that ready on your first show, specifically from you, because you had never really been a front woman before or front
Yeah,
man
that was
before.
the first show that I had ever fronted a band on. Yes, I've done like
Your
backing
confidence was
vocals
so
and playing.
impressive.
It's
And I was the best at that job. By the way.
my
I'm not humble about it. I was the shit. You were probably too young to remember me as a front man.
Yeah.
I was the fucking man. I wasn't that good of a lead singer, but when it came to frontmen, like I was the shit. So like when I give you a compliment as a frontman
I
or a front
appreciate
woman,
that.
it's from the bottom of my heart, and it means something because I was dope.
Absolutely.
I was fucking really good. Even Jeremy, my singer, you know
Yeah,
Jeremy.
of course.
Even Jeremy will be like, "You were really good," and I'm like, "Yeah, because you don't. He's so good." I'm like, "But you don't know the difference between frontman and singer. He
Right.
doesn't get that difference." I tricked him, and I tricked everybody else into thinking I was a good singer because I was
Yeah.
that good of a frontman.
Well, right, and that's what
You
you've
are
got to
so
do.
good.
Thank you.
This early. God, I'm so
I'm
excited to watch
very
this whole
big into
curve.
like
It's gonna be fun.
One of the things
It's so
that I
exciting.
live by is be fearless in the pursuit of what sets your soul on fire. This is my passion. This is what I'm driving towards. This is everything that I want, and I'm gonna go get it, and I'm gonna do everything in my power to get this. So I have worked my ass off on trying to be the best front woman, be the best singer, hit all the notes, be able to have that breath control, have that stamina, be able to dance on stage and act like a
without
fool.
being a fucking weirdo, man. 'Cause that's the
Exactly.
thing is like being so many female lead singers. Like I said, they're doing rock music, but they're trying to be Britney. Oh, the perfect example. Steve, pull this up. Murph. Okay, we're gonna get the best clip of the night. So this makes the producer worth it. Pull up Lady Gaga with Metallica live.
I don't
That
think I've
was a
ever
thing?
seen this. And I am a big I
Oh
love Gaga.
my God. This is the epitome of what I'm talking about. And then, okay, now, before you hit play, though, I want you to cue both these up. The next one, new screen. This one is Carrie Underwood. No. Okay. So here's the next one I want you to do. You ready? Carrie Underwood, Ace of Spades. Okay. Now, in
Intrigued.
this analogy, you're Carrie Underwood. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
And I want you, no, it's not up yet, but I want you to do when we get this queued up, because this is going to be perfect. This is going to really hit. I'm telling you, like, we're bringing this motherfucker home. I'm telling you, I'm about to hit a grand slam with this motherfucker.
Dog was
I want you to play the Carrie Underwood Ace of Spades one first, and like just get in halfway into the song. Make sure the audio is playing so the audience can hear it. So make sure the audio is ready to go, and give us like 10 seconds because we're gonna get flagged. But
I can do picture in picture, so you can just do a quote review.
overdub it, and it ducks my mic actually. So yeah, just
okay.
so that's good because we can call it a review
I'm just
because
waiting
it
for
is.
the ad to get through.
You guys know what I'm talking about?
There
You guys
we
are
go.
young and hip. You know what I'm talking about, right? The
am
fucking
I?
YouTube copyright infringement bullshit.
After we watch this, though, I gotta pee again. I'm so sorry.
Oh, you're fine.
I have like the bladder of a freaking acorn.
You're fine. You've peed once. What are you talking about? I've already peed twice. I'm a grown fucking man. And I peed more
Six
than
times
you.
in the last half hour. That's
Yeah,
what,
but you,
that's
dude,
what being
you get a
58
pass.
is.
You get a pass. You've talked about it on the podcast. You
I
got
haven't had kids or anything, so I have no excuse.
I mean, I've peed about 6 times too, but I haven't left
I
this
think-
chair.
What is it?
Shit, that's acceptable here?
Women's bladders is what? Was it like 60%
see
the
this.
size?
I
of a
don't know,
man's
but
or
I'm gonna
something?
go right now.
Yeah, go pee.
I don't know my lady anatomy very well.
You should.
So yeah, play the Carrie Underwood,
All right.
and then we'll play the Lady Gaga, and then by the time she gets back, we'll play
right.
the Carrie Underwood again.
We'll see if this works.
Fucking better.
So this
work,
is
Murph.
Gaga and
This is what I
Metallica, you
fucking
said?
pay you for,
Right.
Murph.
Yeah.
So no, start with Carrie Underwood.
All right, hold on. I'm going to get the
Start with
picture-
Carrie
picture
Underwood.
up. There we go.
Start with Carrie Underwood.
Carrie Underwood.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
I want to start with the good because
right.
Carrie Underwood's the shit. Pause this. Get
Oh,
rid
come
of
on.
this.
Iron thing. There we go.
Yeah,
Carrie
yeah, there you
Underwood.
go.
There she is.
Okay. Unmute it.
And
Unmute it first.
Unmute. There we go.
No. Press pause, Steve.
What
Steve.
the fuck?
It's right there.
Technical difficulties.
See right?
There. Yeah. But I got to unmute desktop audio too, right?
Yep.
Yeah. Okay, we'll go back.
Okay.
Oh, that sidebar's like killing me. All right.
Okay. Can you hear this, dude? Like she's fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Like
badass.
Like, dude, she's being a rockin'. This is a country singer. Dude, she's killing it. She's fucking awesome, dude. Dude, okay,
That's
okay,
badass.
you can kill it, Steve's. Kill it. Okay, so, AJ. All right, dude, she's covering Lemmy.
Yeah, which is not an easy thing to do.
Dude, Lemmy is an ugly dude who is a masculine idol. Okay? Like, Lemmy is an idol of masculinity for an entire generation of men. There are no men who are more badass than Lemmy to an entire generation of men.
Sure.
Okay? Carrie Underwood killed that. Fucking killed it, right?
Badass. Yeah.
Okay. Do you agree?
Yeah, I'm gonna
Okay.
go home and watch that actual clip, like
Dude,
the full thing.
she's
Like,
awesome.
that's fucking badass.
It was awesome, and trust me, you're gonna love it, right? Okay, now play the Lady Gaga. Dude, I gotta figure out what that fucking popping is. You don't hear it because you don't have headphones on, dude. It's driving me nuts.
I hear nothing.
Okay.
All right, let's see.
Yep. Okay. Now just skip like at least 30 seconds in
All right.
before you start hitting play. Let's fast forward this. No, back up. Okay, right. Okay, 10 seconds in. Just start it at 10 seconds. Okay, now hit play. Unmute it.
Son of a biscuit eater.
Okay.
Son of a bitch.
Too many
Okay.
damn controls.
This is really bad. Okay. Okay, she's not even up there. Okay, now she's next to Lars.
She's right
Okay,
there, yeah.
look at her. This is so bad. This is so cringe. This is the worst thing I've ever seen in entertainment history. I don't know what she... This should never happen in metal music. What is she doing?
It looks like she's trying to put like the Lady Gaga
It's
show.
so bad.
into
Okay.
it.
Okay, now press pause, just so, because we're going to get flagged, but it's going to be easy to fight if we do this. Now skip forward, about, right, okay, back up. A little bit farther, right there.
Right now.
That should be the end of that chorus. Yep, okay, they're going to go into the second verse here, and here's where she comes in, and look at her, she's like, this has my review has nothing to do with her voice, by the way. She's amazing. I'm talking about this. Okay, here we go. This is specifically the spot I'm referring to. Okay, now look at her. This weird ass. Okay, this is not it. It was actually the first part, but you can pause this, Steve. Go back to
She's a pop singer trying to be a rocker.
Okay, but
Right.
go back to now so we can show Josie to play catch up.
Yeah, sorry.
Play the Carrie Underwood clip again. Cuz there's a way to do this is the point. And it's way harder for women. It's way harder for women to do this in hard rock than it is. And this is what I was referring to earlier when I was talking about these hick hop. What did you call it? Hick hop?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
like-
my term.
Where they're trying to be like they're
Hip hop.
literally trying to they're chicks singing country music, but they're like mannerisms. They're trying to be like black dudes doing hip hop, and it's super weird. So here's my point. Here's Carrie Underwood doing Ace of Spades, and it's the exact opposite. Fucking crushes it. Play this again. Not even about the voice; it's about the stage presence.
She's not trying to be something different. She's just fucking.
She's
doing her
just
thing.
honoring the music
She
as it's
feels
there.
it. She gets it.
Well, she's embodying him without alienating herself. Like she's
She's real.
it's so good, and she knows the like little fucking Axl Rose 2-step thing while she's still holding the full mic stand. Like, she's so good. Like, she's a god. Pause it. Okay, we've seen enough. She's a fucking legend.
She's a star.
She's the best.
She's been a really big influence, actually, on like how
She's
I
so
am as
good.
I've seen her twice live, and she's
So,
amazing.
in this analogy, you're the Carrie Underwood, is what I'm trying to explain. You already have that. Almost every female front woman I've ever known, including ones I've dated, are trying to do the weird Lady Gaga thing. And I'm like,
you'll never
stop.
catch me like twerking
I'm
on
like,
stage.
I'm like, yo,
That's my job.
stop.
Yeah.
I'm like, stop. And they try to like,
I know my
boogie-
place.
and they try to like boogie down and like, they do this weird like Mick Jagger thing with the guitar player. I'm like, you got to stop. Like, it's not working. It's not
No.
vibing. Like, you got to stop. Do that. If you're doing rock
Absolutely.
music as a female frontman, do what Carrie Underwood did. Learn how to dance with the microphone stand,
Yeah.
the whole stand. Like, learn how to become. You don't have to fucking be Britney Spears on stage.
No.
Stop running around. Just fucking
It's so unnecessary.
Command your little box.
Yeah.
And
Like, I'll
fucking-
still move
oh my
all
God,
around
dude.
the stage. I have no problem. What did I do?
Nothing. It's.
You done broke it.
Okay, here.
I'm just
Send
gonna-
it,
nope,
send
I've
it
got
to me
it.
for a
We're
second.
good,
No,
we're-
no, no.
we're
We're
okay.
gonna fix this
Okay.
right now. So we're gonna tighten it,
All right, dope.
and then we're gonna bring it back.
I
There you go.
broke it.
There you go.
No, you're
there you go.
Sorry,
No,
I tend to have
what
that
I'm
effect
doing,
on
what
things.
I'm doing is trying to say is you have an incredible knack for that. Your
Thank you.
charisma and your confidence on stage is so beyond your actual years of experience. It's very
Thank you.
impressive, and I'm super excited to watch your evolution
That was actually
because I think you're going to be at that level if you play everything right, and if you know there are some stars aligning shit. We all know that.
Absolutely.
But I think you have it, and I'm really excited.
the one of the most common things that we heard after our first show, like, yes, I do believe that all of our recordings and everything that we've released is great. I think it's awesome. But a lot of what we heard after we played that first show was your guys' live show and the way that you guys sound when you're all playing together on that stage is absolutely up here, unmatched to what your actual recordings sound like, which I think is a great problem to have. That gets more people out to your live shows. That makes more people want to see
were saying you
you.
sound better live than
Yes.
you do on record.
Well, it makes it something to come see live because I think
Absolutely.
that, like, way circling back, but I think that's part of the problem too with live music is like a lot of times it's like, well, I could sit at home and listen to this on Spotify, and
It sounds
or I
better.
could pay $15-$20 and go spend 6 hours at a fucking bar,
Right.
and hear the same thing. But there you are in person, cool. But it's like
Yeah.
if you can
What
make
the
it,
fuck is that, Steve?
if you can make it something different, something unique live.
Yeah, and I think that's also
forgot
a
to turn the
problem, like
monitors
production wise. A lot of people do use that pitch corrector and do use that auto tune, and they're not actually authentic. And that's a lot of what bothers me with mainstream music, is a lot of the stuff that you're hearing online, that's not real. It's not actually raw recordings or anything. Like, that's what pushes people away from some live shows, is some people know and understand and realize that what they're hearing on their phone or on Spotify, on Apple Music, whatever you use, is going to be 100 times better than actually seeing them in person, which is sad. But it's a sad reality. Whereas, like, for a band
Yeah.
like us, like, I feel like what people were saying, we are so good live and we have it together and we are tight, but we have worked our asses off to get to where we are.
What excites me about that, though, is like if you're that good already, and I was very impressed when I seen you for
Thank
your first
you.
show. Imagine how good you guys are going to be if you stick this together and you don't fuck this up. Imagine how good you guys are going to be in 2 years.
Oh,
No,
these guys are
it's all downhill
specifically
from
live.
here.
they're
we're just
stuck with
talking
me
about
for
life.
life.
Because
Like,
we're just
forever.
talking about life. But just imagine in 2 years, after you build the snowball, like we talked
Of
about
course.
before the podcast, right? Building the snowball is the hardest work you'll do. In fact, your dad and my current bass player, when
Mm-hmm.
I was a young pup, had a phrase they learned from Bill Berry. And it was 0 to 500 fans is the hardest hill you'll ever climb.
Of course.
So, and what that means for anybody that was like, yeah, obviously, dude. No, what that means is like you and your band being able to get 500 people out to see your band, not to a show, because there's 3 other bands there
Right.
that night. No.
Your group specifically.
Your headlining band has a minimum of 500 people that stuck it out throughout the whole night, and you're still playing in front of 500 people. That's what they're fucking talking about. Getting to simply
Absolutely.
that point is the hardest hill you'll ever climb in the music industry.
And that's what
I
Dad
don't
said
know if
after our
that's true.
first show too. He was
Did he?
like, "Yes."
Does he still think that's still true, or should I ask him
Absolutely.
directly?
Well, he like after our first show, yes, our turnout
Or
was
is it 0 to
awesome.
300 now? You know what I mean? Like,
Our turnout
Times are different.
for our first show was great. I
Times
was
are
very
changing.
impressed with what we ended up having at the end of the night. And he told us like after the meeting, the first meeting after that show, he was like, "Yes, that was amazing, but we're going to do better. We need to strive for better. We need to next show that we have, I expect us to have double that." So 400 people at our next show.
yep.
That's what we want, because you want at least every person that came to that show to tell at least one person about the experience
Correct.
they had and how they should come
And
out and
come
see
back.
that next show.
And
Exactly.
That's the thing is you got to get everybody to come back.
Word of mouth
plus
is
one.
so huge. It's so huge. So getting people to be able to realize like, oh, this band was awesome. I should tell so-and-so about it and they should come to the next show with me. That is a huge deal.
Yeah, I agree. I agree 100%.
Mm-hmm.
I think it matters because specifically when you do it that way, it's such an organic, I mean, I guess the cliche is word of mouth, but there's so much like credibility there.
Of course.
When somebody's like, dude, you got to come check out this band versus like another Facebook ad.
Right.
And the Facebook ad should still be there. And
Well,
that's
they have to be at this point. Yeah.
Yeah.
right.
But-
And like, and your dad knows, like you Skywind, they bought the billboards.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like,
Absolutely.
they bought the radio commercials. They did the whole thing.
Every time he plays a show, he gets a billboard. Every time.
Yeah, because again, it's the same math as I did earlier, where I said 2% of your flyered audience comes
Yeah.
to your show. So there's a same number with the fucking billboards. There's the same number with the radio commercials. There's the same number. I don't know if it's 2%. You know what I mean? Like I don't know how that works, but I know there's a number,
Yes.
and that's why people do it.
Absolutely.
That's why it's worked for as long as it's worked. So investing that into your band and believing that, and this is what the catch is like, if your band fucking sucks, it doesn't matter how much you spend, right? Your band fucking sucks. But if your band is good and you're just unpopular because maybe you play some weird version of punk rock or death metal, it doesn't mean you can't be profitable.
Right.
What it means is you need to build your weird audience, your niche. Because trust me, there's plenty of death metal bands and plenty of black metal bands and plenty of punk rock bands that are making a full-time living being musicians. Each one of those guys is bringing home 40 to 60 grand a year. Okay, they're not rich, they're not famous,
But they're getting by.
but they're full-time actual musicians. It can be done, and that's why I
do it.
to do the callback to the death metal of podcasts thing. If you do the true crime, that's pop music. You know, like there's easier ways to do it. But if this is what I want to do, I don't want to do the editing and like sit there and fucking like nail a riff and or like sit here and try to perfect a drum part so I can cover up how shitty I am. Like I'm not trying to do that. Fuck you, Murph. You weren't supposed to laugh at that. You son of a bitch.
I love it.
I'm not trying to do any of that.
See, Murph is the MVP, like you
is-
said.
This is so
Peanut
much.
gallery
He's the
over
man.
there.
Yeah.
This is so
Sam
much.
or AJ and I are usually the peanut gallery and whatever meetings we're having, because him and I will be having our little side conversations.
This is what I'm best at, is live entertainment. It's what I've always been best at: throwing concerts, hosting concerts, emceeing concerts, doing a podcast, being a
Absolutely.
live performing musician. Yeah, I can write some dope ass songs. We can write some scripts. We can write some jokes. But like at the end of the day, it's the live thing, being in front of the audience. That's when I'm
Sure.
best, because I'm just comfortable with it at this point.
Yeah.
It's not even about a talent thing. It's just at this point, I just don't give a fuck.
Right.
And that
exactly.
works. That
Whatever's
just
going to
always
happen
works.
is going to happen.
Yeah, yeah.
That's
and
what you just have
that's
to
live
believe.
entertainment.
Yeah,
Exactly. Right?
exactly.
That's
Flying
what
by
made
the
me a
seat of
good
your
front-
pants.
Exactly. That's what made me a good front man. Is
Yeah.
I didn't give a fuck. When
Yeah.
I was on that stage, I owned the world. Right, and that was
Yeah.
my little piece of real estate where up there I was the man and no
Yeah.
one could fucking touch me. That gave
Exactly.
me all the confidence to be a great front man.
Yeah.
That's what made me a great front man. That's
Well,
why I
yeah.
try to tell people.
And
And
I-
I don't have to
yeah.
tell you anything because you're already there. That's the crazy thing. So what would you give young front people, because I don't want to just say young women, no,
Yeah.
even young dudes, because
Yeah.
you're that good. What would you give young front lead singers What would you give them as far as advice as to like how to find that confidence that you and I found at very young ages and completely different sides of the spectrum? Like,
You need nobody is at the end of the day, you have to believe in yourself. Absolutely, you're going to be your own worst critic. I am my own worst critic, and I know that. But at the end of the day, you've got yourself. And you are the only person that has your back on this planet. So if you don't have the confidence in yourself to be able to do XYZ, you're not going to be able to do it. It doesn't matter if your family believes that you can do it, if so-and-so believes you can do it. You have to believe that you can do it. And if you don't believe that you can do it, it's not going to be done.
they might be able to reinforce the walls, but you have to build them to begin with.
Yes, and that's
the
like
foundational
you can't
walls.
change the way a certain person thinks. They have to do it themselves. You can't change the way a person
I
reacts.
love
They have
that.
to do it themselves. So you have to have the faith and the confidence and the ability to believe in yourself to be able to get wherever you want to go. You have to work your ass off. You have to believe in yourself. Otherwise, it's not going to happen.
What would you say as some young human being trying to find their way in the music industry?
I mean, on that point, obviously, I think the believing in yourself and the confidence.
Pull that mic
is-
closer to you.
Oh, sorry. Believing in yourself and the confidence is definitely a thing. But from my experience, I think the biggest piece of advice, take it or leave it, would be just fucking go do it. Like, try this shit. Like, that's how I fucking ended up here. I didn't start playing guitar till I was a senior in high school. And it's like, just get out there. I was in an awful shit punk band, but we did fucking cool shit. And I wouldn't be here today if I hadn't just said, fuck it, we're going to do this. Like,
Yeah, I like that. Be willing to write shitty songs.
Yes. You just
Like,
have
be
to
willing
take
to
that jump.
embarrass yourself.
Once you take
Yeah,
that
we did.
jump, whatever's going to happen is
bodybuilding.
going to happen.
It's like bodybuilding. You almost have to fail a little bit.
Absolutely.
And even if you don't fail, like you have to be willing to fail for sure. You have to take that risk.
And when you fail, you have to keep in mind that you're going to grow from it.
Yeah.
You're going to become
100%.
better because of what you have failed at doing. And you're going to know how to do it better next time. You just
It's
have
so
to
cliche, but
you
it's
have
so
to take
true.
the jump. You have to take the jump.
It's weird. Cliches are weird, aren't they? Because
Well,
like
sometimes
we,
there's a
we just
reason
keep
it's a
saying the
cliche.
same
Right.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. Is like we keep saying the same shit here in 2024 that they said in 1824. You know what I mean? Like
best
it's
punk
the
rock
liter-
music was 1824.
Oh yeah, for sure, for sure.
I love
It
you.
is. It is interesting though because nothing seems to ever change.
Yeah.
Like all the same motivational speeches, all the same mantras. Like
There's
they
a
figured
reason
it all
history
out.
repeats itself.
They figured it out. What do they say? It doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes. I think that's the phrase I heard. And
I like that. I've never heard that before. I like
really?
that.
Yeah. I think that's a phrase.
It is now.
I mean,
It's on the
if
internet.
it's not, you did it.
No, I'm pretty sure. I can't take credit. I'm pretty sure I heard that somewhere. History doesn't repeat itself, but it rhymes. Which is like, oh yeah. Because we changed technology, but we keep doing the same fucking dumb shit. The same fucking like they figured out almost everything a long ass time ago. Like I swear to God, they figured out diet 100 years ago or 1,000 years ago, and we just been getting bullshitted by sugar companies, right? Like I'm pretty sure they figured out music theory, like what the algorithms are doing now. They figured that out a long time ago. Like they figured everything out a long ass time ago, like how to win friends and influence people. Like, you know what I mean? Like all these books have been fucking written. Like, and we're just like, hey man, I think I got an idea. If you fucking compliment people and use their first name, they seem to like it. It's like, bro,
Weird.
that's a fucking book
What
written
a
in like
concept.
1934. You know, like
Bloody
you
brilliant.
fucking
Bloody
idiots.
fucking brilliant.
No, but it kind of blows my mind because these tropes, these cliches, they
Yeah.
seem to really repeat themselves, and they
There's a
cross.
reason for
they cross
that.
industries. You know, it doesn't matter if you play
Yeah.
football, if you're in music. Like, I find honestly, I find almost all of my work ethic level of motivation from athletes, not from musicians. I find my artistic inspiration from musicians and actors and screenwriters and creative people, and then my work 100% of it is from athletes. You
Yeah.
know, the Michael Jordans, the fucking The undrafted rookie free agent who makes the fucking team.
Sorry.
Oh, that's
that
my
was funny.
baby. That's my baby. I pick her up by the name, like the mama bear. Yeah, she just gets set down.
That was funny.
The claw.
Well,
What
you
a
guys
good
got
movie.
any final words? Is there anything you guys want to talk about? We got 15 minutes, half hour left before we wrap this up.
Fuck the man.
Fuck the man.
That was my inspirational quote for the night.
Naturally.
Okay, I don't want to get political, but I will ask you this. Simple. It doesn't matter whether you would vote for this person or not. Do you think Joe Biden will simply be on the ballot in November?
Pending extraneous circumstances, unfortunately, yes.
So you think he's going to just like be able to will himself and refuse to step down? Because it
Yes.
sounds like they don't want him to, is what I'm getting at. And like, so I say no. I think it'll be somebody else. I don't know who.
I hope it is because
I really don't know because I just really think it's all corrupt anyways.
Fair enough. Fair enough. You know, and like I said, I don't care who's voting for who. That's not really
Right.
this guy. I'm just like, do you think he'll even be? Because I don't think he'll even be on the ballot. I think they'll pick somebody else.
I hope they
Somehow,
do.
some way, he'll step down or they'll force him out. Whatever.
Like I said,
Doesn't matter.
I hope they do, but I don't.
I don't even
foresee
care
that.
whether they do or not because I don't want to piss anybody off with politics. I do entire political podcasts where I will piss everybody off. That's not the point of tonight. That's not the point of tonight.
Tune in next week for.
Well, it was actually tune in last week.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry.
Last
Shit. My schedule's off. What is
Oh, no.
today?
But I just don't think. I think they'll pick somebody else, or they'll force him out, or he'll step down.
They
I think
need a
it'll
new
be somebody
robot.
Like I
else.
said, I hope so. I hope so. But right now, I don't think that. But I hope so.
It'll be interesting. It'll be super.
That's a
interesting.
word for it.
I just
Are you
think
gonna
it's
Are you gonna vote? I'm not asking you who you're gonna vote for, but are you gonna vote? Or are you just like fuck it?
I don't even know, man. It's
Yeah.
just all of it makes me so sad.
Yeah, I know.
I'm with you there.
It's
Like-
All with
broken
you.
as shit. Right
That statement transcends generations.
I'm not even like none of it makes me angry. I'm not an angry person or a hateful person. I don't hate anybody. I just think it's sad. Like this is what we've come to. All it is division.
It's really picking the worst, the best of two evils.
Right.
Right. That's all you can do
That's
at
not
this
what
point.
it should have to be.
Which I refuse to play
Right.
that game, which
Yeah.
is why I never voted for Hillary, Trump, or Biden in any of those elections. I voted for a libertarian both times because I was like, I'm not doing the lesser of two evils game.
Right.
I'm going to vote for
Right.
who I actually think would be the best president. And believe it or
Yeah.
not, I picked Gary Johnson because I thought he was a great governor. And if you look at his resume, which is literally the president of a state, it's a direct job comparison. Governor is president. Right, so I'm like, okay, you look at what he did. I'm like, yeah, that guy would actually be really good at this job. Versus Trump, versus Hillary. Right. Next election, it was kind of the opposite. I was like, okay, Jill Jorgensen, nobody's gonna like her, right? But let's just pretend she won. She's not getting anything done. And that's what I thought would have been best for us in 2020 was 4
No
years of
fucking-
not a goddamn thing
Yeah,
fucking
no,
happening.
just pause, nobody
press
do
pause.
anything.
That's
Nobody do
that's
anything.
exactly what my theory was press fucking pause. Thank you.
Yes.
dude. Thank you. Because that's exactly
I
what
love
press
it.
pause. Press pause.
Let's just stop and
It was-
recollect for a minute.
Exactly. But I knew she wasn't going to win, so at that point, it was really just a protest vote at this point.
Yeah.
And this election, I just don't know what I'm going to
Term limits and fuck the two-party system.
Yeah.
You know, I've had all those discussions, and I'd love to have you guys on another time, and we could go deep into that shit.
I'm
but
gonna
like,
need more drinks for that one.
For sure.
Let's do- dude, so-
We're gonna have to pre-game the podcast.
so check this out. So we're gonna do an election night podcast. I'm actually gonna make sure like me and Jamal we're both taking the day off of work tomorrow. So I'm just kind of neutral / moderate. Jamal's a straight up libertarian. I want to find a conservative and I want to find a straight up Democrat and then anybody else who wants to hang. And we're just going to literally sit here. And I'm even going to steal the name from Rogan and I'm going to call it the End of the World Podcast. 2020. Like, and we're just going to, and I'm trying to convince him to take the next day off of work. And
Yeah.
I don't care if there's 18 fucking
I think
people
that's super
hanging
dope.
out in a reputation.
You know,
Do you guys want to come and hang out? It'll be a blast.
You need somebody
but you
flying
have to take the
far
next day off
left.
because we're
I'm
going to
on
like,
it.
because you're far left.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So if if you guys want, we'll take everybody has to take the next day off of work because it's going to go till like 2 a.m.
Well,
Perfect.
naturally,
Like I'm going to make my
of
wife
course it
take the next
is.
day off of work. Like, but it's going to be a party. Like we're going to basically
it.
just kind of usher in the Antichrist.
I'm bringing vodka.
Whoever
then.
wins.
Fuck
Yeah,
All right, well,
vodka and
let's do
Kool-Aid,
it.
babe. We're
It's
on
going to be
it.
a fucking blast.
Bring
It's
the
gonna be
vodka,
fun.
bring the dog. It'll be a party.
Oh, Jackswell would love
and
that.
it'll be sick because now we have a computer that can handle the load.
Oh, hot.
No, but we can load up. Seriously, we can load up all the media, so we can fucking like every time we want to fucking. There's some weird, stupid commercial. We'll just play a song. You know, we can promote our bands all night while
Yeah.
we're ushering in the end of the world. You know, like just literally
Play the
staring.
song, play the song.
Play the song. They're gonna launch the nukes. Play the fucking song. No, play mine. Fuck yeah.
Play them all. Play them all.
No, I want my world. I want my song to be at the end of the world.
No,
That'll be
it's got to be
funny.
REM. Like we just have to go with REM.
That's
like,
the
End of the world as we know.
The problem is we'll get copyright stricken.
That was a
Our,
comment.
our live stream will be taken down as the nukes are dropping.
I mean, that just
That'll make
that
horrible
tracks
content.
in. Like,
That'll make
Par for
horrible
the course.
content.
Funny.
Oh my god.
Love it.
love
Where
it.
can people follow you guys?
St. Paul.
One more question.
Follow
Hold on. Before we get out of here, I have one more question.
42.
Bullets and butterflies.
How did
It
we
was-
get the name?
Does it have anything to do with bullets and butterfly wings?
Yes.
Okay.
So, you know Dan Dryden, old bass player for Hairball. My dad plays in My Famous Friends with him.
I don't know him.
But you know of him.
Yeah.
Yes. So
I know who he is.
his
He
wife,
is a person.
bless her soul. I love
He's
her.
a man?
Yes. I love his wife with my
He is a
entire
man.
heart.
Has hair on his body.
So she
Has fingernails.
And the
Maybe a
penis.
tattoo or two.
she has a problem with remembering song titles. And she was in the car with Dan. They were driving somewhere, and she was like, Dan, play the song Bullets and Butterflies. And he's like, what the hell are you talking about? She's like, Bullets and Butterflies. You mean bullet holes and butterfly wings? Yeah, that one. And
Is that what it's called?
I think so. I think that's the title of it.
Okay.
And Wendy
What's
was
the band we're talking about?
Smashing Pumpkins.
Smashing Pumpkins.
Bullet with butterfly wings.
Bullet with butterfly wings. Yeah.
You were close.
Okay. No,
Whatever.
so there's another band that I'm thinking of.
Oh.
I forgot about the Smashing Pumpkins.
Oh.
thing. Okay.
Damn,
Keep
so
going,
we
keep
copied
going.
two bands?
Fuck. No,
Yeah.
no. I don't
So
think you copied
super
any bands,
unintentional.
but-
I had never heard the song before in my life. And Wendy, she called my dad and was like, Wally, you need to talk to the girls. Well, when my sister was still in the band, she's like, Bullets and Butterflies, got to be their name.
It's a great name.
It's
That's why I'm
super
asking
dope.
you.
I love it. And it was really cool. I'm going to go back to when I was in Europe too. We went to this butterfly garden there, which was so cool. And there was this blue and black butterfly that landed on my hand. And it was the only butterfly in that entire butterfly garden that landed on me. And we went to this store, which like is their equivalent to like TJ Maxx or Marshall's, right? And I'm bopping around looking at the clothes, and there's this sweatshirt with the same exact butterfly, same colors, same everything. Like I have a picture of them right next to each other in my camera roll because people will not believe this. The sweatshirt had the butterfly and it said "Your Destiny" on top of it. And I like that was another time I cried. I was like, "Oh my gosh, like this is so real." Like Goosebumps Central, like that's it's all so full circle, and it's totally destiny and totally fate, and I'm so here for it.
It's fucking awesome. And
It's so cool. Nobody like has a story like this is the coolest story that I will have in my entire life that I get to tell, and it's with my best friends and the people I love the most in this entire world. It's so beautiful, and I just love it.
well, and what did you say earlier on the podcast? Something about finding the beauty in the brutality or something
Beauty
like
and the
that?
bleeding.
That directly aligns with
Yes.
bullets and butterflies. It's that
Absolutely.
yin and yang, it's that duality of like
Absolutely.
you can't find enlightenment through suffering.
Yes.
I can't think of a better way to end the podcast on that. That's so beautiful and it makes so much sense. And I'm glad that your whole vision like like all the arrows are pointed in one direction. That's one of the things I say, you know what I mean? And you guys are doing it, and I think it's great, and I'm fucking so excited for you guys. And
all of our goals and like the way that our hearts are just so aligned to, like, we all want the same thing. We all have the same end goal, and I feel like that's so important in a band to be so cohesive on what your end goal is and what your strategy is to get there and how you want to do things. It's so important. It's so beautiful.
So here's what we're gonna do. Where can people follow you guys? And then after you do your shout outs for your shit, we're gonna play your second song, and that's how we're gonna end the That's how we're gonna end the podcast.
Yeah. So
where can people follow you guys online?
We're Bullets and Butterflies on Facebook.
TikTok.
Our
A-N-D.
A-N-D, yes. And
Bullets
then
and Butterflies.
And Butterflies, yeah. And then Instagram is official Bullets and Butterfly. I'm gonna look so I can fact check myself.
Yeah, something like that. TikTok is _bullets _
And if people want to follow you guys individually, you're
AJ Sugar or AJ Sugar Tits.
AJ Sugar
Yeah.
Tits.
Mine's
What platform?
obnoxious, and it's Josephine with 3 E's and then Marie after it.
So it's like Josephine Marie.
Yes, exactly. So yeah, and then our Instagram for our band is official Bullets and Butterflies.
Perfect.
A-N-D.
And
All right.
Facebook, you just search us, you find us. We're
Yeah.
there.
Yeah.
We're doing the things.
Absolutely.
We're trendy.
I'm Josephine Marie
probably.
on Facebook without the obnoxious extra
I
E's.
love you guys.
We love
I
you.
love you guys.
All right, this next ad break brought to you by HelloFresh.
Play the song. Play the
Play
song.
the fucking song. If you guys want to follow me, I'm Jared Singer live on everything. This
Jared.
next
Song
song
two?
is called. This next song is called.
Rabbit hole.
All right, so I'm gonna do this, Steve.
You're
I'm
gonna
gonna
do it?
I'm gonna mute the mics. I'm gonna
Yep.
hit this, and
I'll do
then
it.
at the end of this
Yep.
song, just kill the podcast.
Okay.
See, we're
And
we're,
then-
we're
and then
figuring
we
this out
dance.
as we go.
We love you
Zero
guys.
training. I have 0 notes. We do not do this podcast on a script.
I
Steve
have
does
notes.
not know. Steve does not know what I want him to do. We're learning this as we
Never.
go. Nope. This is like an improv comedy show.
Yeah.
But
Well,
the
you
difference
did
is
fucking great.
it's like an improv
Yeah.
comedy show, but it sucks.
I had a great time. I'm not
No, I
gonna
love
lie.
you guys.
This
I
is
love
fun.
you
We
guys.
love
This
you.
was a blast.
Cheers, man.
Please come
Hells
back
yeah.
and do it again.
We would love to.
Once you guys get big enough, you'll go do Rogan, and you'll be too big for me. But for now,
Never.
We'll talk
for
about your
now,
podcast. We'll
I'm-
talk about this one.
I get ya, gar. All right, what is the song called? Rabbit hole.
Yes,
I
rabbit hole.
got
It's
ya.
about a boat.
Gar, we're
No,
going
it's not.
down
That's
the
the
rabbit
next
hole.
one.
Garg. Okay, we're out of here.
Slipping through the cracks of a looking glass. Spin around, trying to find a way back. I saw your chest shine, smile.